Happy Tuesday. It's time for an evening coffee and Cursey words. Maybe it's an aperitif and Cursey words tonight. It's water and Cursey words for me this evening because I am still getting over being sick, which is such a bummer. It's so good to see all of you law nerds and see you already sharing what you're drinking and where you're coming in from. If you are new here, go ahead and pop a one in the chat, do the YouTubey things. Replay crew, love you. There will be timestamps down below for everything that we go over tonight. But on the docket for this evening, we've got some Rust updates, and I'll tell you a bit more about what's going on with that. R. Kelly is starting trial in Chicago, and some of you are like, wasn't R. Kelly just convicted? This is a great opportunity to talk about the kind of two system of justice that we have here in the US between state level crimes and federal crimes and all the things. There's a interesting crypto lawsuit. Can we talk about that without my channel completely getting obliterated for saying those words? I sure hope so. But there's an interesting suit going on in the YouTube space. I'm interested to see if you guys are familiar with these YouTubers. We'll see. Then we've got, of course, Elaine Bredehoft is off of Amber Heard's legal team. We're going to chat about that and what it might mean. And there's a few new Britney Spears motions and a lot of protective orders. Why? Why are there protective orders? Well, yeeted James Spears, his lawyer keeps threatening to unseal Britney's private records in the conservatorship to vindicate James Spears. It felt vaguely threatening. Like the first time I saw this reported, I was like, hey, did they misinterpret? I have questions. Okay, I have questions. When it comes to media reporting, my trust has been violated. And I have questions. So I was like, is this really, this lawyer can't really be saying this. I'm like, so when I covered it, I was like, this is what they're reporting, but that's wild if that's true. So I was cautiously skeptical. And then I was in court and heard it for my damn self. And I was like, yo, what in the world is this attorney saying? It's wild. So we're going to talk about that too. So all the things. Tracy is watching in Japan, drinking a double IPA. It's one of those nights. Fantastic. So we have lots to talk about. Lots and lots to talk about. I see a number of you talking about K-Fed. I am going to do an I Have Thoughts episode on K-Fed because I don't think we have time to absolutely cover it at the moment. Anthony Frazier, good to see you, friend. It was so good to meet you at the Free Britney rally too. I can't wait to be back for another court hearing because this isn't done. This isn't done. And sometimes it's really just easier for me to cover it myself, to go there and see it and cover it. And while I don't have the bandwidth to do that all the time, when I can, I absolutely will. So let us roll the intro. We've got some things to talk about. We've got the man about tech in the building. This feels like an OG live stream. All the friends are present. And we just get to chat. So if this is your first time on a live stream, you need to pop a one in the chat, let me know. And then we just have some things to talk about. So we should get into it. We're going to do that now. Hey there. If we haven't met yet, I'm Emily D. Baker, the badass lawyer and everyone's favorite legal commentator. I'm the host of The Emily Show, and I break down the legal shit behind the news and pop culture stories we all want to talk about. I have been a licensed attorney for over 15 years, but this is not legal advice. I should warn you, I'm a big fan of the Cursey words. This channel is where the law nerds unite to talk about facts, not fuckery. I see y'all. I've missed you too. I see a lot of you in the chat being like, I miss you. I missed you too. Look, being sick last week was legitimately the worst. I felt awful. And I am still, we're still a little sketchy over here, but we're feeling a bit better, but it's still a little sketchy. It's still dicey. We're working on it. And then it's just been a busy week. I know you guys, if you follow me over on Instagram, you have seen that I have been doing, I was on News Nation last night and then again tonight to talk about the Rust case, and we're going to get into that. But First, I see a couple super chats and I see you guys talking about it in the chat. It is something I wanted to talk about tonight, and I know a number of you have brought it up. So let us just chat about it real quick. Lilith asks, have you heard that the house shared by Jen, Gerard, Nick, and Dustin had a major fire? Jen and Yogi are okay, but they lost everything. Yes, I have. I actually have spoken with Jen and Nick and Dustin. Nick lost his two precious kitty Ponards due to smoke inhalation. Nick and Dustin being awake is what stopped that from being an even worse tragedy. House fires are so scary. I know Jen Gerard shared on social media that their fire alarms didn't go off, that their smoke alarms didn't go off, that their carbon monoxide alarms didn't go off. Like none of the alarms went off. So the fact that they were awake is what allowed everyone to get out of that house and survive. So it is just absolutely devastating. House fires are so scary, and I'm so glad they got their pups out. They all got out safely, but yes, lost everything. And Jen talked about that over on her YouTube channel. I know that Nick and Dustin have been sharing it on their social medias. It's been a rough year. It's been a rough year for everybody. And so it's so hard watching, Nick lost his mom. He and Dustin have moved like twice, and watching them have somewhere where they've landed and things are great, to then have, another thing that's just devastating. It is so sad. So all of our Lawnard love to them. And Jen was like, I lost my Lawnard shirt and my sweat. I'm like, Jen, I've got you. I will send you a new shirt and sweatshirt. We've got you. I know Nick and Dustin had gotten the unicorn cup. I don't have one pulled out that I will share with you. And I'm like, I've got you. We can replace. Like, don't worry about the Lawnard stuff. Are you okay? And what do you need? Like, we will do everything we can. Phoenix said, is there anything we can do to help them recover? I'm going to keep an eye on their socials and see what they need. I know that I always share about Jen Gerard's cosmetics. If you've ever considered purchasing, hey, you know what? Now might be a time to support Gerard Cosmetics. This color that y'all have been loving is Rose Hill. You know how much I love these lip glosses with the light and with the mirror on the back. We have links in the description and all the things. You can use code LAWNERD, so we can do that. I will ask them if they need a fundraiser and see what they're doing. I don't know if that is going to make them feel comfortable or not, but supporting Jen's business and supporting Nick and Dustin on their YouTube channels, watching their videos, those are things that absolutely will support them. So if they have anything else, I will share that for sure. Dawn Shoot said the clean canvas is so good. Rose said Jen is asking for support by making a purchase from Gerard Cosmetics. See, and supporting her business is a great way to do it. I'm heartbroken for them. It is, so many of you know what starting over is, and it's just so hard. But Jen's in the chat. We love you, Jen. And I know the Lawnard community has loved you for a long time. You've been a supporter of this channel for, since my channel started to grow. You've been in the chat and have been so tremendously supportive. So I know everyone is absolutely thinking of you guys. It's just absolutely heartbreaking. So glad that you guys are safe, and just so glad that you guys are safe. So thank you, Christina. The chat is absolutely sharing everything. So chat, just check the chat. They've got you. They've got you. So with that, the link should be in the description, and the mods will share the links. I saw something else that I absolutely wanted to chat about real quick. Let's see. I was advised to claim a prize for a previous comment. Carmen, the scams on YouTube have gotten very creative. If I am ever running a giveaway, and I'm so glad you asked the question. I'm sorry that you super chatted to ask the question, but I'm so glad you asked the question. The scams on YouTube have gotten real in the replies, because YouTube does a great job of filtering comments. It doesn't do as good of a job at this point of filtering replies to comments. And that is something that is really difficult to deal with as a creator. Our mod squad was absolutely on this when I was sick last week and this started popping off with somebody advising to contact them on Telegram. Look, if I run a giveaway, I will give you rules, terms and conditions. I will talk about it across all my social medias. I will tell you how to engage with it, and I will tell you how to do it for sure. It will never be a, hey, talk to me off platform over here. Hey, and the people who had responded have let me know that they were then asked to pay for shipping and insurance and stuff for the prize. So it is, again, a money getting scam. I do not have an official handle on Telegram. I am trying to fix that. I didn't know I needed to do that. I never thought, oh, I should go grab my name on Telegram because somebody's going to try to impersonate me and grab my profile picture. Like, I never even considered that that would be a thing that people would do. And here it is. So no, I will never ask you to WhatsApp me, to Telegram me. I will communicate on my official social medias and on this channel, and you will see it. So with that, no, it is not me. I am so sorry that they are out and real, but it is something I have definitely been keeping YouTube apprised of. It's something our mods are on top of. It's kind of like playing whack-a-mole. And it every time they pop up, this is how I feel when they pop up. Because here we are. It's like,
hi, I'm Emily. Give me your personal information so I can send you a prize that doesn't exist.
it's not me. It's not me. It's never me. It's somebody else trying to be me. So with that, it's wild. Wild Heart said most channels on YouTube have been experiencing the same thing. Yeah, it's definitely not unique to me or to my channel. It is absolutely an issue. So I am verified on most platforms. Instagram. Instagram. Instagram, you're owned by the same company that verified me on Facebook. I just, look, please, just so people can stop pretending to be me. So Atlas, thank you. I love you too. I'm here for it. I love that it's like respectfully. Hey, we're here for it. I love it. Thank you. It's just so hard. And the whack-a-mole is so hard. For all of the law nerds that have either sent me screenshots on Twitter, reached out over email saying, is this true? Thank you for reaching out and bringing it to my attention. I really do appreciate it. I don't see all the things that are going on social media because, I try to run our channel and talk to the law nerds and keep up with content and keep up with legal stories and like mom life, wife life, things life over here. So I don't always see it. So when you guys pointed out, it is super, super helpful. And I always appreciate you taking the extra step to be like, hey, I just want to verify. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that, we need a petition. I have no idea how Instagram verification works. I don't even know. The only reason it matters to me is because when somebody impersonates me on Instagram and you guys go to report it, and this has been ongoing, and you go to report it, you can say impersonating someone, but if you're not a verified account, you can't select my account that they're impersonating me. And that is the most frustrating thing because then they get in the DMs trying to ask you all for personal information. And sometimes it's hard to see because they use my profile picture. They spell the name so close that you might not catch it on your phone because it's small. It's tough. So at least with the blue check, I can say, it's me. On Twitter, it's me. On Facebook, it's me. Here on YouTube, it's me. So it's one of those things that I was not anticipating. It's not something I ever thought would have. I just wasn't anticipating it. Like I saw that happening to big creators and I was like, oh, well, like I'm not a big creator, so it's fine. And now we're here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. So if anyone knows anyone that works at Instagram, please feel free to reach out. We would help. It would just help. All right, let's see. Let us get into Captain Wee the Barmy. Thank you. Huge shout out to Mod Katie Cotton, who had surgery. We are hoping you are feeling better, Katie. Happy recovery. Well wishes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shelly said, I'm here to support all that you do. Emily, you're amazing. Thank you very much. It's one of the things I enjoyed about being on News Nation. I really, of all the news networks that I watch and engage with, it's really nice to see one that really does kind of old school news where it's just like, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. I love it. I'm here for it. I'm here for all of that. You have more followers than Court TV. Yeah, well, they have Chanley Painter, who I think is just a delightful. I want to have a conversation, and then we'll get into our topics. Oh, I haven't rambled for nearly too long. It's got to be so busy covering cases because she was in Virginia for the entire length of the Depp Heard case, and then is in California covering the Kristen Smart case. It's just how much she is traveling. I'm like, A, how early do you have to get up to get the hair and stuff ready for all day? B, the outfits, like how are we planning, packing? Like I need to know how you're working out that situation because it seems like a lot of stress. These are the things I want to know. It's the same with like Camille Vasquez. What time are you waking up for trial to get your hair done? And how did you keep it looking good all day? Camille Vasquez's hair looked great in trial every single day. I looked like a drowned rodent half the time when I was in trial. It was not cute at all. So Steve Cass said, is News Nation really news, not a political propaganda? That's good to know. I've been looking for a trusted news source. Yes. From everything I've seen, they really are just like, this happened, this happened. It's like old school news reading. They're news presenting. It's something I find more in international news than I'm finding in US news. And it's nice to see just news presenters again. Like, please just tell me what happened. So I saw a comment in the chat that Phil all day. I work for Insta. Just tell me your mom's maiden name again for clarification. Chat always has the humor. I see Runkle in the chat. Good to see you. I saw you on E channel a while ago. Yes, Emily has definitely done a bit of television lately. Not that Instagram. They're like, who are you again? I'm like, you might have seen me here or here or over there. Instagram's like, we don't know her. So whatever. We should get into today's quick bits because we have a few quick bits. The first thing we're going to do is what I was just on News Nation talking about tonight and the podcast topic for tomorrow. So we should do quick bits. Emily, where's your quick bits bumper? Are you ready? Are you actually really ready to stream? I mean, maybe let's see if we can get my screen sharing working. It wasn't working when I had Natalie and Bree on the channel. I was just like, oh my God, why won't this work for me? Make it work. And it was like, we're not going to work for you. So let's get into our quick bits channel. I should do the professional, like we're professionals here. I should be ready to screen share and like do all the things. I just wasn't because I was prepping the show and doing the things. And then I get distracted because, you know, the ADHD is real. My kids get home from school. I want to chat with them and on and on. But yes, let us get into it. My goal for tonight is to get through our topics kind of quickly and then get into a lot of Q&A because it's been a while since we've gotten to do a bunch of Q&A. And so that is the goal for me. So that's what we're trying to accomplish tonight. So just fingers crossed, everybody. Fingers crossed. Let's get into quick bits. Quick bits. Quick bits. It's time. Let's talk about Rust real quick. I have been deep diving a little bit into the Rust tragedy where Alec Baldwin shot Helena Hutchins, the cinematographer, on the film it sounds weird to say the film they were shooting, but the film they were shooting. She passed as the result of the gunshot wound. The bullet also struck the director, live bullet in the gun. This is what we're talking about. There are a whole bunch of lawsuits, civil lawsuits going on, and there's still a criminal investigation going on. The FBI has released to someone their report, and ABC News has it. I don't know if ABC News got it from Alec Baldwin's attorneys or elsewhere, but ABC News had it. So all the reporting is stemming from whoever at ABC read this thing, their reading of it. Though Alec Baldwin's attorneys are saying that it is a misreading of the thing. I don't know if that's true or not. I talk about this in tomorrow's podcast. I find the reporting to be a little confusing, and I would like to see the FBI report myself. We haven't had an opportunity to do that. If anyone who has it would like to share it, I'm happy to give you a breakdown. But we haven't seen it. We've only seen like secondhand the interpretation of it. So tomorrow's episode, I talk about that finding by the FBI saying that the gun couldn't have fired without the trigger being pulled. Alec Baldwin, of course, went on that George Stephanopoulos interview and said he didn't have his finger on the trigger. He was just cocking back. Do you guys remember this? I did a breakdown of it on the podcast here on the channel as well. Alec Baldwin's interview with George Stephanopoulos on ABC, he's like, I was pulling it like here, 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 here. And he kept pulling it down and saying, I was showing her, is this good? Is this good? Is this good? And so that's how he breaks it down on the George Stephanopoulos interview. But this morning, Chris Cuomo released his podcast, which is up on YouTube and I'm sure on podcasting apps, with Alec Baldwin. And he's talking about not cocking it back with his thumb and holding it and holding it and holding it, but fanning it. He gave everyone a lesson on firearms handling. Runkle, if you're in the chat, you need to go and look at all of the various fuckery about how this gun was manipulated. I very much would love your input. You know way more about firearms than I do. So he's talking about in his interview with Chris Cuomo that he was fanning the top of the gun and like popped it back. But he also said that he hit the hammer back and it didn't lock. Well, if you're just hitting your hand over the top of it, how is the hammer going back and not locking? None of it makes any sense. So there are now inconsistent statements about how he was manipulating the gun when it went off. The FBI has seemingly said that this gun could not fire without the trigger being pulled based on their investigation. It's really, really interesting stuff. So with that breakdown, we've also seen the medical examiner make a determination in the death of Helena Hutchins and rule it an accident. I talk more about that tomorrow. And we're also, the thing I get into tomorrow that I have not seen reported anywhere is the findings from the workplace safety. I keep calling them OSHA and they're not. It's New Mexico. Emily, it's not OSHA in New Mexico. It's the OSHB, the Occupational Safety and Health Bureau or Board. They had a very extensive finding about what was going on set. So when you look at the Chris Cuomo interview that, of course, I didn't cover on the podcast because it came out after I recorded it, you get the breakdown of what was going on in the set and emails going back and forth with the armorer and the management on set. And then you have Baldwin being like, everyone I talked to said the set was totally safe. That's not what the report from the health and safety in New Mexico determined. So it's very interesting looking at all of the information that we got from OSHB in New Mexico and the new information in the Alec Baldwin interview. So now I need to do another episode where I take a look at what we have found and everything and what we have with this new interview. So that is my goal, is to now we need to do a breakdown of the new Baldwin interview with Chris Cuomo and some of the things that maybe contradict what we've seen elsewhere, not just about the handling of the weapon, but also about the fact that, well, Alec Baldwin thinks he's not civilly liable or criminally liable. And with regard to civil liability, he believes he's indemnified. And I would be really interested to see what his contract looks like as a producer and as an actor, or if it's both the same. Indemnity, of course, means like if I get in trouble, you have to handle it. So if something happens, it's not on me as an individual or my company, it's on the production. And that will be very interesting because that's coming up in all of these civil lawsuits that are going on. So we have lots and lots of civil lawsuits to break down in the Rust case, and they are moving on. So I pull up in tomorrow's episode, I pull up the OSHB finding, which I found to be the most interesting. It has emails back and forth indicating that there were issues on set. Whether Baldwin knew that or not, whether the chain of command brought them to him or not, I don't know. And it's not clear. But what is clear is that there is an issue for the armorer, but a bigger issue for the first AD, Dave Halls, who was in charge of safety on the set. Those things were going up his chain of command. So I don't know if it ever reached the level where Alec Baldwin as a producer was being told about these things, but it went up the AD Hall's chain of command where these issues were being brought to their attention. So when we're looking at criminal liability, I was asked on News Nation, and of course the period of time is like this. And I'm like, here's how I see it today after this interview. There is the lawsuit between the armorer and the prop house. In that lawsuit, she alleges that a new box of bullets arrived into the prop trailer the morning that this happened. So now we've got the person at the prop house we need to look at. There's some new information in the New Mexico Health and Safety report about that, and another lawsuit from the medic on set that has some information about that, or some allegations about that. So what happened with the prop house? And how did a live bullet get in the box that got to set that day? So I look for liability, civil, criminal there first. Then what happened with the armorer? Did she check all the bullets that got put into the gun? Did she put the bullets in the gun? And what we learned more clearly in the report that I cover tomorrow is that there had been a misfire on set where the prop master, Sarah, whose last name is escaping me at the moment, had loaded the gun and misfired it into the ground. So now we have a situation close in time, within days of this incident, where we have someone that's not the armorer loading one of the weapons on set. Is it possible that someone not the armorer loaded this gun? Maybe, but she talks about, in her interview, Hannah Gutierrez Reeds talks about loading the weapon before lunch and then unloading it after lunch. I need to go back and look at her police interview in full before I get into this. Then, so we have the prop house. How did the bullet in the box get onto set? We have the armorer. How did the bullets from the box get into the gun? And then we have the first AD who said that the gun was clear and checked. And then it gets handed to Baldwin. So we're looking at these, three individuals before we even get to Alec Baldwin as the actor, when the person who's rendering it safe talks about it. So that's all what we're getting into tomorrow. And the report is just very interesting. So that's a little teaser for tomorrow and an update on what's going on with Rust. Katrina Turner said, I'm very interested in the OSB report. That's my specialty. They made some extensive findings. They found a lot of issues, but they had emails in there, and I love that they had emails in there. So prop master Sarah Zachary, thank you. It's a lot of names, and it's been a long day. Thank you, Matthew. So very, very interesting. And I see a chat from Facebook asking, is this similar to what happened on the set of The Crow TB? It's different because this was actually a live round, and with that, the live round is a problem. So that is a problem. Rosie B asked, misfire or negligent discharge? They call it a misfire on the movie, but it looks like from the report that it was truly a negligent misfire or a negligent discharge, because she was loading the weapon. It doesn't look like a true misfire where the gun accidentally fired. I am not sure what's going on Facebook with the audio. Apologies. I co-stream to both platforms. So if there is something going on Facebook, I would suggest refreshing a little bit. I am sorry, because I am not getting any feedback from that on YouTube. So I would try refreshing over on the Facebooks if you are having audio issues. So Laura said, no reason for live rounds on set. Yeah, never, ever. That's the biggest question. And that's the one thing I disagree with Alec Baldwin on a lot of things, but Alec Baldwin's like, we need to know how the live round got on set. Agree. 100% agree. 100% agree. We absolutely need to know how a live round made it onto set. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So with that, that's what's going on with Rust. I have the I've pulled up all the litigation that's going on in the wrongful death suit, a new lawsuit that we haven't talked about, the report from health and safety, all of it. So with that, we should get to our next topic because we have lots to do. And if I talk too long about one thing, we're never going to get through it all. Is that what happens every stream? Yes. Yes, it is. All right. R. Kelly's going to trial again. And what we need to talk about it, look, even though the behavior may be similar in different places, you can go to trial more than once. And even if the behavior is the same, sometimes you can get tried federally and in the state because the crimes are different. Yep. And you're like, Emily, that seems fucked. Yep. But it can happen. So you can get prosecuted federally and get prosecuted civilly. You can get prosecuted federally, criminally, and then state criminally. There's a lot of ways that you can get in trouble for multiple things. But some of these things are specific to Chicago. With that, we're going to go through this article from NPR, but this was from yesterday. A jury was picked today. So let's kind of start from the most recent news and then move backwards. I think that makes more sense. So this is coming from Sonia Mohi. I hope I pronounced that properly. I probably didn't because I'm me and I pronounce things awfully. A jury of 8 women and 4 men has been sworn in for the Chicago federal trial for R. Kelly and 2 of his former associates. There are 6 alternates. Opening statements begin tomorrow. So that's what we're going to see tomorrow with regard to the R. Kelly trial. So let's take a look at what he is facing in Chicago. If you guys are interested, I will keep an eye on this trial going on. Just a quick trigger warning. With regard to R. Kelly, we're not going to get into the specifics of the allegations, but they are along the line of the Duggery things. They are awful allegations. So if that is triggering, at this point, you're probably aware of what R. Kelly is alleged to have done and convicted of in the other trial in New York. So with that, let us move on. R. Kelly is going on trial in Chicago after being convicted in New York. R. Kelly, the convicted sex offender and disgraced singer, is on trial again. The jury selection has concluded today, very quickly, by the way. Kelly is charged with 13 counts, include creating and receiving illicit images of children, enticing minors into adult activity, and obstruction of justice. I hate having to pull words, but YouTube gets real salty about some of these words, and I do like being a creator on YouTube. So I'm always torn. I'm always torn about pulling words and self-moderating that and just being like, we should be able to talk about these things. It's literally the law. But anyway, Kelly's obstruction of justice charge ties back to a 2008 illicit image of a child case in which he was acquitted. The jurors found Kelly not guilty on all counts, which hinged on the fact that an alleged victim did not testify. If there is a victim that did not testify in a case involving illicit images of illicit images of children, it is likely because the victim is one of those children. Federal prosecutors say that witnesses and their families were threatened and paid off by Kelly and his associates before the previous trial. Wow. People with money and power trying to pay people off so they don't get in trouble. That's novel. Now the alleged victim from the 2008 case is set to testify. Good. I hope in the time between 2008 and now, times have changed enough that people feel that they can come forward and can talk about this, that society is not just more aware of it, but more open to listening and to hearing and being able to bring it up. Kelly isn't the only defendant, will be tried alongside his former manager and his former employee. All 3 defendants have pleaded not guilty. Well, yes, yes. If they pled guilty, they would be getting sentenced. So Kelly was already found guilty in another federal trial last year. A federal judge in Brooklyn sentenced Kelly to 30 years in prison in June. Jury found him guilty last September on 9 counts of trafficking for the purposes of sex, and racketeering. 8 of those counts found that Kelly violated the Mann Act, a federal law that prohibits people from transporting across state lines for the purpose of prostitution. Federal prosecutors were able to prove that Kelly led a criminal enterprise. That was the RICO case. Part of the charges stem from Kelly's marriage to the late singer Aaliyah, who was 15 when Kelly was 27. Kelly was convicted of bribing an official to grant her a fake ID. Kelly also faces state charges in Illinois and Minnesota. So these are federal charges. There are other charges coming. Kelly, who has also faced multiple lawsuits, is dealing with criminal state charges in Illinois and Minnesota. Kelly was charged with 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse in Illinois in February 2019, with 4 alleged victims. 3 of them are minors. In May 2019, Kelly faced 11 more felony charges of sexual abuse and assault filed by Cook County prosecutors. Then in August 2019, he was charged with 2 criminal offenses surrounding prostitution and solicitation in Minnesota's Hennepin County. The Minnesota allegations stem from a 2001 incident. And that I'm not getting into the details of that more, but I will be following along with this as it gets into the trial. So with that, R. Kelly's going to be on trial for a while. I don't know if he will ever decide to plead guilty. Because I mean, at one point it's like, at some point, he's already been sentenced to 30 years. Do you want to keep going through these trials? No, I pronounce things terrible. I know Aaliyah. I always read it Aaliyah. I always read it like the designer, which is, I know it and I still get it wrong. Not willfully, by the way. My brain absolutely does that. I just wonder if the reason R. Kelly is not pleading guilty is to force these victims all to testify in court. They have to sit in court across from him. So it's just, I don't know. At some point, I hope that we will see him plead to some of these charges. That's what I would hope, to not have these victims have to continue to testify. But here we are. So, R. Kelly going to trial again. I've seen enough defendants that part of the reason that they want to go to trial is to sit in a courtroom and stare down their victims. And it just, that's where my gut's at. And that's completely my own just gut reaction. So he already has 30 years. Why plead guilty? And at this point, I'm like, well, why not? It's not gonna change. I mean, he's gonna get more, but at this point. So, but I agree with you. He's not going to. He's like, whatever. Being on trial might be better. I mean, if he's on trial, he's like, hey, I like where I'm housed better for this trial. The food's better here for this trial. I mean, why not? I have nothing else to do. So, and he can have representation that he doesn't have to pay for. So Half Irish says until he runs out of money, these are all criminal charges. So he does not have to pay for his representation if he cannot. He may have to, but he may not. So it's horrible. And it's horrible to have to sit across from him in court. Just horrible. All right, let us move on to, are we ready? Are we ready to move on to some crypto stuff? Let's talk about YouTubers and crypto. Let's talk about YouTubers and crypto, shall we? There's a lawsuit. It involves defamation and YouTubers and crypto. Now, I've got to be totally honest. This is not my corner of YouTube. So when we talk about this, I'm not going to know who people are. I will learn at some point. CoffeeZilla probably has a video. I don't know, but I'm going to try my best. You guys will have to let me know if you know these YouTubers. We'll put up a poll. Miguelina, will you put up a poll? Do you know these YouTubers? Yes, no, some. So we'll go there. We're going to look at this reporting from Law 360, and then we're just going to pull up the complaint to take a little peek. But let us jump into this. Crypto YouTuber sues after peer says he scammed viewers. Like what? That's not helpful, Emily. That's user error. That's 1000% user error. This is coming from Law 360. Cryptocurrency influencer. Is that a thing? I guess that's a thing. This is a thing, right? Um, Cryptocurrency influencer and YouTube personality BitBoy Crypto took fellow influencer Atozy to Georgia federal court on claims of tortious business interference after Atozy posted a video accusing BitBoy of scamming his audience by pumping a particular new currency. The names I'm here for, but okay. At the beginning of this, we have not looked into any of this. This is a first look for all of us. If we're going to follow this, y'all are going to let me know if we're going to go down this rabbit hole. But I do want to see YouTubers using tortious business interference where it's appropriate, because that's what a lot of this is. A lot of the time when you see one influencer or one creator go after another, a lot of the time the proper claim, not saying that that's what happened here, the proper claim is tortious business interference. When people go after someone's sponsors, it's interfering with their business. When someone goes after these things, it is or can be interference in their business when you are absolutely trying to harm their business. So you guys, a lot of you know who Atozy is. Okay, let's keep going. And again, this is a first look. These are allegations, 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 allegations. Lawsuits are allegations and shade. Just because it's said in a lawsuit doesn't mean it's true. Let us continue. In a suit filed Friday, Ben Armstrong, known as BitBoy Crypto. Oh my God, if you switch to their names and not their handles, I'm going to get so confused. Can we please just go with BitBoy and Atozy? It's going to be so much easier for me. Okay. Ben Armstrong, known as BitBoy Crypto to his more than 1 million YouTube subscribers, alleged that Atozy, we're sticking with handles, people, the influencer behind their YouTube channel, engaged in defamation and tortious business interference when he made a video accusing BitBoy of scamming his followers in November 2021. According to the complaint, Atozy called BitBoy both a shady dirtbag and a dirtbag YouTuber. You guys are telling me it's A2Z, not Atozy, not toes, not like toes on your feet, A2Z. Like A to Z, like covering A to Z. Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's super helpful. When I tell you I don't know things and I pronounce things badly. Me also, when I hear like words I know pronounced wrong, I'm like, But it is very hard when I read things. I am dyslexic. I struggle. And I tell you guys that I struggle because I struggle. Okay. Dirtbag seems like it could be opinion. It could, calling someone a shady dirtbag. Let's continue. Conjuring a scenario for viewers in which he was in which he was allegedly paid to sell cryptocurrency on behalf of scammers to suckers willing to buy it. Going so far as to say BitBoy was, quote unquote, not someone you should be looking to for any advice whatsoever because you don't know whether he's trying to enrich you or himself. Okay, at this point, I'm at opinion. Atozy, we'll just go with that, also told viewers that there was no way BitBoy had invested his own money in a new cryptocurrency known as PAMP. What? Quote, unless he did it with the goal to dump it on his followers. That not uncommon, by the way, in YouTube. No, I mean, this gets alleged all the time. When you look at people's total shit coins. Look, man, it's one thing if you are buying a sweater that you like from a creator, a lip gloss that you like, a, new hair thing. Investing substantial sums of money is a whole different thing. All right. I'm trying to make it bigger. Let's see. Hopefully that works. All right. Let's see. Armstrong, BitBoy further alleged that Atozy told viewers that BitBoy was running afoul of the law in the video, allegedly telling them it was, quote, basically inevitable that the SEC is going to get involved because dirtbags like this cannot resist the urge to take that quick buck and just milk their audience for some extra money. Quote, can't there be a more damaging quote, can there be a more damaging assertion for someone like BitBoy Crypto, who engages in the business of providing advice and commentary on cryptocurrency investments? Wait, they're actually saying he's providing cryptocurrency advice. Is the lawsuit saying that BitBoy Crypto is providing financial advice? Because that's interesting. Don't get me started. You're going to get me started because the FCC won't let him be or let me be me on MTV. Yep. But it is true. The SEC is going to absolutely have problems with people giving financial advice if they are not qualified to give financial advice. Okay. Let's see. Quote, the Atozy video, Atozy, I'm going to keep getting this wrong. I will go watch one of their videos and listen to how they pronounce their names. His name is like the alphabet, A to Z. Okay, great. The A to Z video is a hit job, an attack piece, not some investigative report. I mean, it sounds like it's a commentary video. It relies on supposition for its premise. Supposition like a opinion? For its premise of wrongful intent by BitBoy Crypto. It wholly lacks supporting facts. Investigative reporters don't say, I hate sleazebags like this. Do they claim to be an investigative reporter? Y'all stop trying to make YouTubers investigative reporters. They're not. And a lot of the ones that say they are also aren't. I hate sleazebags like this because they ruin it for everyone, as the A to Z video says. Well, that's it. The video allegedly ended with an encouragement for viewers to send their friends who are fans of the BitBoy Crypto channel a link to watch, which Armstrong characterized as an attempt to drive away Armstrong's audience with false allegations and divert them to A to Z's channel. Did they know that? Look, did you know you can like subscribe to more than one YouTube channel? It's like free. You can just like hit the button and just subscribe. You can do that or not. According to the complaint, at least one other cryptocurrency YouTube channel has made a follow-up video that repeats the allegations. One. There's one. Okay, at least one other channel has made a video that repeats the allegations. This BitBoy Crypto says has caused him to suffer a reduction in the generation of new business. Oh, it's going to have to be more specific than that. And has damaged his reputation in the cryptocurrency space. One video damaged the reputation. I have questions. I don't doubt that this was annoying. I have questions about the damages. Are there tangible damages here? I have questions. We're going to need a whole episode on like YouTube lawsuits, YouTuber on YouTuber lawsuits. There's a few I haven't covered. Well, there's at least one I haven't covered yet. BitBoy Crypto also said he has suffered from severe anxiety following the release of the video because he fears he will be perceived as a felon, a fraud, and untrustworthy in business or in general. Now, social media is real fucking stressful. I totally get that. And I will not deny anyone their anxiety and stress. But being called a dirtbag to being perceived as a felon is like a big, big leap for me. Contemplating the loss of his livelihood and his good standing in society has left BitBoy Crypto in a fragile emotional state with virtually no confidence that things will be better in the future. Here's the problem. If the lawsuit says that, and we're going to go look at it in a minute, you have to have damages for defamation. And maybe this is going to another cause of action. There are other cause of actions. You have to have damages. Contemplating the loss of livelihood is probably not going to fly for actual damages. Contemplating the loss of livelihood, I think, is something that burdens everyone in 2022. We live in weird times. And his good standing in society. I mean, that sounds like it's going to reputational harm. This sounds like it has the buzzwords of defamation, but contemplating the loss of livelihood is not the same as losing sponsors, losing money. And when it comes to YouTube, this is one of the things that's hard. When it comes to YouTube, how do you prove that your views have gone down? Unless it's something as drastic as like the viewership lost in James Charles' Bicester. The video comes out, I will keep reading, don't worry, I'm coming back. The video comes out, the subscriber count bombs. And people were watching it in real time. Then you have at least, causation close in time and you can watch it happen. But it's really hard on YouTube because YouTube fluctuates, it ebbs and flows. And it's going to be hard to pin this unless you have an advertiser saying, oh, well, we saw that video and we can't work with you anymore. That becomes a little more concrete. Okay, so BitBoy Crypto is contemplating the loss of his livelihood and his good standing in society, and he is in a fragile emotional state with no confidence. Defendant's defamation and wrongful conduct induced third parties not to enter into or continue business relationships. It's very hard to prove not to enter into unless they spell that out, or continue business relationships with Armstrongs. Defendant's conduct also caused financial injury by reducing the number of his followers because the fall off in followers directly translates to a fall off in business income. Not necessarily. I would love to see how they prove that. The lawsuit puts forth claims for defamation, intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress, so IIED and NIED, tortious interference with business relations in violation of Georgia's Deceptive Practices Trade Act and Fair Business Practices Act. Armstrong is seeking general compensatory and special damages. So this is going to be in the same jurisdiction where the Cardi B Tasha K was. YouTubers as investigative reporters, is that trying to make fetch happen? Maybe. Here's the thing. If people are independent investigative reporters, and there are independent investigative reporters, they will normally tell you, and you can generally tell by the way that they comport themselves, that they are or are not actually investigative reporters. Most commentators are commentators, and they give commentary, not investigative reporting. Okay, let's take a look real quick at this complaint, and then we are moving on to Elaine. But I love that feeling fragile is part of this lawsuit. It's just feeling fragile. Kelly C says Atozy says he's a commentator, right? Because probably a commentator. All right. Jenny MV is saying whose subscribers dropped again? That's what BitBoy Crypto is claiming. Let's take a look. I'm curious because how do they tie it in time? Again, you saw Bye Sister come out and you saw James Charles subscriber numbers. The thing though is subscriber numbers don't always translate to views. There are times people won't subscribe to a channel but will watch or will hate watch. One doesn't always follow. So let's make this a little bit bigger and go through this. So nature of the action, plaintiff is a sole proprietor who operates under a well-known social media handle, BitBoy Crypto. Plaintiff disseminates valuable information via various social media platforms on the internet. The business model relies on reputation and status as an influencer, i.e., I love the definition, a well-known online personality who influences others' decisions, such as to buy or sell cryptocurrencies and investments. Not all influencers do that, but I appreciate that that's such as. I mean, I feel like the only thing I influence is y'all to use legal jargon in everyday life, say fuck a lot, enjoy coffee, and maybe go to Starbucks more than you otherwise would. But that's where we're leaving that. Defendant Mengshol, I'm probably getting that wrong, is an online personality, uses the social media name Atozy to post videos and tweets concerning the activities of individuals in various industries. Sounds like a commentary channel. Upon information and belief, that's what they're going to say. Again, these are allegations. Atozy's strategies for gaining more notoriety is to launch caustic personal attacks on a variety of individuals for the entertainment value that his audience might find in such attacks. Well, they're just going there. They're just going there. They're just, hey. Okay. Sharon is asking, isn't there a really small audience for this? Well, these are YouTubers with millions of subs, so probably not. Probably not. Don't forget the manscaping. I have maybe influenced some hair down there decisions. A lot of you know the dual definitions of Ringo. Let's see. As part of this strategy, Atozy turned his sights on BitBoy Crypto, made defamatory and damaging statements about BitBoy Crypto that were intended to harm BitBoy Crypto and his business. That's just generally running along the lines of what the allegations are. Plaintiff brings this action to recover damages. This is being brought in federal court. They're going to have... Plaintiff is Armstrong. Cite the problem. Plaintiff is Armstrong. Armstrong lives in Georgia. Defendant lives in Virginia. What is the problem you see? Plaintiff lives in Georgia. Defendant lives in Virginia. Yeah, all of you that are like, jurisdiction. Correct. Jurisdiction is the first issue we see here, because the reason that Cardi B sued Tasha K in Georgia is because Tasha K lives the fuck in Georgia. So she's like, I am coming to you where you live. Plaintiffs can pick jurisdiction, but that jurisdiction has to have authority over the individual. And what we learned from International Shoe, as we saw in the Toddy Westbrook YouTuber who shall not be named lawsuit, because if you say the name too much, it like summons them into some kind of Instagram meltdown, and we're not doing that tonight. Is we saw that significant activity directed at the forum state, in that case Washington, reaching into Washington to pull up records, doing things or alleging things allegedly to be done in Washington, were on the cusp for the court, and they found no jurisdiction. If they're not alleging more than just putting a video out on the interview, they're going to have issues with jurisdiction here. You guys are like, yay, International Shoe. Yes. Shouldn't a lawyer know about jurisdiction? Yes, but it doesn't mean they can't file it there and make them spend money litigating it there and then move it to another jurisdiction. This could be a strategy. Could be a strategy. It could be a problem. Could not fight it. Look, we saw that in the Keemstar Romeo Lacoste lawsuit. Keemstar lives somewhere in the state of New York and was sued in California by Romeo Lacoste for defamation and other things. And with that, instead of fighting jurisdiction and saying, no, fuck you, come sue me over here in New York, he was like, oh, fuck me, no, fuck you. The anti-slap in California is really strong. And then won on an anti-slap and won attorney's fees and then ended up taking Romeo Lacoste's play button and winning those attorney's fees. So you can choose to say, okay, fine, the law's good for me here. I'm staying here. Cool. Or you can say, no, you want to sue me? Come the fuck here and sue me. And what do we know about Virginia? Virginia actually doesn't have a super sassy anti-slap. So it's interesting they chose Virginia. I don't know what the anti-slap is in Virginia or is in Georgia. I would have to look again. I haven't looked since the beginning of the Cardi B suit, and I don't remember off the top of my head this evening. So I would blame it on being sick, but I really just didn't look. Truly. The court has subject matter jurisdiction. Why does the court have jurisdiction? It doesn't even say. The court has subject matter jurisdiction, but I don't know if you've got jurisdiction, friends. Venue is proper in the district court because why? That's not going to get us there. I don't think we've got enough. Does anti-slap cover these allegations? It will generally cover defamation depending on the jurisdiction. Some states anti-slap only protects like political activity. So it really depends on the jurisdiction. Yes, this is a federal suit, but that does not mean you automatically have jurisdiction just because it's a federal suit. It makes it a little easier to subpoena people, but they could have filed this in federal court because you have two diverse parties that live in different states. They could have filed this in federal court in Virginia. So cryptocurrency, wait, here, let's back up. Lawyers explain things. BitBoy Crypto. I'm sorry, it's the name. I'm not laughing at the person. It's just BitBoy Crypto is an industry-leading source of reliable commentary with respect to investments in cryptocurrency, virtual currency based on cryptography technology, which serves as an alternative to government-issued fiat currency. I said that's so weird. Fiat currency as a store of value. Cryptocurrency is new, technical in nature, not widely understood. Fair. There are numerous cryptocurrencies which people may invest. They're just educating the court at this point. Most well known of which is Bitcoin. They are, however, important differences. Okay, great. Expert analysis and advice are useful to consumers. Is this person an expert in investments? Through BitBoy Crypto, Armstrong provides video commentary regarding investments. Atozy accuses BitBoy Crypto of scamming his fans on or about November 8th, 2021. Generally, defamation has like a 1-ish year statute of limitations. I wonder what else went on behind the scenes with this before this came into court, but that's just me being curious. On or about November 8th, 2021, defendant Atozy posted a video on YouTube entitled, "This YouTuber Scams His Fans, BitBoy Crypto." Are they going after the title? Because they didn't mention the title in the article. Are they going after the title as the title being defamatory? We'll see. Did he write the headline? Atozy's video concerns a BitBoy Crypto video regarding an investment in a particular cryptocurrency called PAMP. PAMP needs a voice. PAMP. It's PAMP. I don't know. It just sounds funny to me. The video makes repeated attacks on BitBoy's honesty, credibility, and reliability. The video repeatedly calls BitBoy a dirtbag, stating that he is a shady dirtbag and a dirtbag YouTuber. Again, I don't know if name calling is going to get you there. Did they link the video in a footnote? The video claims that it will expose him as the dirtbag he is and states several times that he is a group of dirtbag influencers. The video continues the dirtbag attack with this statement, quote, "No timestamp? Look, lawyers, when you are dealing with YouTube videos, first download the video before you do any of this. I'm sure that's already been done. Attach a link and timestamp it for the court. You're going to get further. The court's going to be happier. Just make life easy on everybody. Just make life easy on everybody." Quote, So in case you don't know what an absolute sleaze dirtbag of a YouTuber is, here's BitBoy Crypto, a prime example of that. On another occasion, the video states this man has enriched himself by being an all-around dirtbag. Y'all, it sounds like opinion at this point. I mean, it never feels nice to name call. We talk about no name calling in the chat. It sucks to get name called online. It's not fun at all. But this, the video directly attacks Armstrong's livelihood, stating that when it comes to cryptocurrency advice, BitBoy is quote unquote not someone you should be looking up to for any advice whatsoever. Again, sounds like opinion. To drive the point home, the video asks, quote, how is this man a reputable source for crypto investment advice? I don't know if this question's going to get you there on defamation. How is this man a reputable source for crypto investment advice? That's a question. Like not even a particularly harsh question. Okay, let's keep going. Again, this feels like opinion. The video answers its own rhetorical question. Oh, so this isn't defamatory. It's a rhetorical question stating that BitBoy cannot be trusted with financial advice because you don't know whether he's trying to enrich you or himself. Okay. The accusations were knowingly false and made with reckless disregard to their falsity. All of you at this point are just like, hey, defamation. Here you are. Here's some of your elements with public figure defamation. Without any factual support, the video conjures up a scenario in which BitBoy is allegedly paid to sell a cryptocurrency on behalf of quote unquote scammers to help them find quote unquote suckers who will buy the scam cryptocurrency. The video asserts, again without any facts and support, that quote, BitBoy and the other dirtbag influencers brought the scammers to the inexperienced investor who is sadly the sucker. That also sounds like opinion. The video states that BitBoy Crypto's video is quote, is so deceptive and misleading to investors, I'm surprised it's even allowed on YouTube to begin with. I haven't gotten past opinion. The video also asserts that BitBoy Crypto's video is beyond misleading. Okay. The video adds to its claims of fraud and deceit. If not outright theft, is dirtbag the claim of fraud, deceit, and outright theft? With another baseless accusation that Armstrong will run afoul of the law, stating, quote, it's basically inevitable that the SEC is going to get involved because dirtbags like this cannot resist the urge to take that quick buck and just milk their audience for some extra money. Look. How many, not just influencers, but actual celebrities have we seen get it kind of nailed over crypto nonsense? We need to go back and look at the one that had a whole bunch of celebrities looped into it, including one of the Kardashians. The SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission that regulates stocks and financial devices, is going to get involved in the crypto market more and is going to get involved probably also with the FCC and the FTC, all the CCs. All of them, just all the alphabet soup of government regulatory agencies in how influencers advertise financial tokens. Banks have rules for how they advertise financial investments. Influencers generally have some rules, but not the same. They're not always adhering to them. I know I'm trying not to sing Teenage Dirtbag and y'all are killing me. Chat, I love you. But Teenage Dirtbag is legit stuck in my head, but it's also been trending on TikTok. So, you know, we're just here. I have not shared my Teenage Dirtbag photos, but maybe one day. Maybe that'll happen over on the Leonard community for the members. But anyway, this has been an issue. I think this is opinion again. that the SEC is going to probably get more involved in what the fuck influencers are doing with financial tokens. Not to say any one influencer, but you've got influencers starting their own coins like Dink Donk and shit. 2Suma7 said, banker here, feds love their rules. Yup, and money. Feds love their rules and money. And you've got influencers getting into things that they might not be able to actually advise on, financial advising. And in a lot of states, financial advising requires some type of, licensure and regulatory commission. Chad, I love you so much. I just do. I just do. Thank you. You guys are giving me life. All right. The Atozy video, they say, is publishing to the public false accusations that Armstrong engages in fraud, deceit, and theft that will result in civil and or criminal charges against him by the SEC. Is that what that said? Is that what that said? It's basically inevitable that the SEC is going to get involved because dirtbags like this cannot resist the urge to take a quick buck and just milk their audience for some extra money. Does that say that BitBoy engages in fraud, deceit, and theft that will result in civil and or criminal charges brought against him by the SEC? Does chat, am I wrong? Like, have I gone crazy? That feels like a big leap to me. Leap. Like that you ran for. Like that you ran to get onto a pommel horse for. Like a leap with that like bouncy thing. What's it called in gymnastics? The thing you jump on to get on the pommel. It feels like that. Run, leap, jump, stretch, spin. Is this how they're getting to defamation per se? Because defamation per se is accusing someone of criminal activity. There's other types of defamation per se in Georgia, including alleging that somebody has a communicable disease. We learned that in the Cardi B case, but is that what they're springboard? Thank you. It's a vault. Springboard onto the thing. Yes, the vaulting twirl. We're twirling. But like, is this what they're going for defamation per se? Because this doesn't feel great to me. You guys are like, but does he stick the landing? I don't know if this is going to stick the landing. I think this is out on jurisdiction. You guys are saying hi to DUI guy in the chat. Hello. I don't know. Simone Biles takes great leaps. I don't know if this is a Simone Biles leap. I don't know if this is a good leap. Elaine, I'm sorry. I yell your name a lot. It's not you. We like you. Former banker customer service. I had to be very careful not to advise customers because I was not a licensed financial advisor. See? I don't know. I think that might be a reach. The video disputes that BitBoy invested his own money in the cryptocurrency discussed in the BitBoy Crypto video. According to Atozy, there was, quote unquote, no way he invested his own money, quote, unless he did it with a goal to dump it on his own followers. So he doesn't say there's no way. It's kind of hyperbole. And then he said, unless he did this. The statement is false and harmful to his reputation. Atozy either knew his statement was false or made it with reckless disregard of the falsity. Okay. The video is a hit job attack piece and not some investigative report. It relies upon supposition for its premise of wrongful intent. It wholly lacks supporting facts. Investigative reporters don't say, quote unquote, I hate sleazebags like this because they ruin it for everyone. It's my favorite line in this lawsuit so far. What is this? Oh, man. Investigative reporters don't say, I hate sleazebags like this because they ruin it for everyone. Okay. The video has harmed. Let's talk about the harm. And then we need to move on. I'm just fascinated. I'm captivated by the use of the word dirtbag repeatedly. I'm captivated, and then we're moving on. I promise. Reflecting, okay, look, this isn't written by Elaine, right? Reflecting Atozy's hatred of BitBoy, the video ends with an all-out effort to damage the reputation in the crypto space. Hatred does not equal malice and defamation. That's not what malice means here. Asserting that, quote, this man, BitBoy, has enriched himself by being an all-around dirtbag, and raises a false alarm stating, if you have any friends who watch BitBoy Crypto, send them this video. The later statement is a classic 2 for the price of 1. What? I'm not following. What? What is happening? Why is it a 2 for the price of 1? What are we getting? What is happening? The later statement is a classic 2 for the price of 1. It attempts to drive the audience away from BitBoy Crypto and divert the audience to the Atozy video. And to watch a video. It's YouTube. You can watch a lot of videos. KY Heathen said, FINRA licensed rep here, you always just give opinions and not advice unless you're a financial advisor, which is why it's so concerning to me in this lawsuit. Did they say he's giving crypto advice like in the sworn declaration? Because then it's like, well, it's sworn in your lawsuit that you're giving advice on crypto. So you chat, you know more than I do. Finance was never my thing. No, I was joking about whether it was written by Elaine. I was trying to be funny. I failed, but I was joking. I don't understand that the later statement is a classic 2 for the price of 1. I don't think that necessarily follows. Don't get cute in the writing of your lawsuit. Just put in the allegations, man. That this is not hitting for me. It attempts to drive the audience away from BitBoy Crypto or to just go watch a video. As if. I'm sorry, Clueless is also in my head tonight. As if the video wasn't damaging enough on its own, it also spawned at least one follow-up video. It's giving Dr. Spiegel and his one call that he was really upset about at Newsweek. Look,
You guys, it spawned at least one follow-up video. It's very serious. 24 Hours Crypto released a YouTube video entitled Beast Boy's Successful Exit Scam Now Exposed. Hardcore evidence.
What is happening? And what does hardcore evidence even mean? Is it stacked? What's it stacked on?
The 24 Hours Crypto video specifically mentions the Atozy video and appears to be based almost entirely upon the Atozy video.
Welcome to the commentary world where people give commentary on people giving commentary. The 24... Wait.
The 24 Hours Crypto video states that it is directly meant for BitBoy Crypto's audience. And then goes on to repeat the defamatory statements. Okay.
Y'all, There's one. Chelsea, could it be thrown out if Atozy lives in Arizona now? I think there's a jurisdiction issue no matter what state that YouTuber lives in. If they don't live in Georgia, it's a problem. Let's see. Count 1, defamation. Numerous false statements. BitBoy Crypto reputation was harmed. Diminution in business. Okay. Count 2, defamation per se. I was wondering if they were going to try to say that he was engaged in crimes. Throughout the video, he is accused of lacking integrity as a cryptocurrency commentator. That's not criminal. Comments stated BitBoy will be investigated by the SEC. and is questioning how the video was allowed. I don't know if that's going to work for defamation per se. Intentional infliction of emotional distress, your IIED, that the statements were extreme and outrageous. Do you guys think they were extreme and outrageous? Hazel said Valley Girl Hamster. I think that's the name of that voice now. That is now the Valley Girl Hamster voice. Were the statements extreme and outrageous to you? Like, when we're looking at intentional infliction of emotional distress, we've looked at those causes of action in a number of different lawsuits, including the Cardi B suit, including the Toddy Westbrook suit. And the statements were a lot more severe than Dirtbag. Like a lot, like a... Okay. Let's see. The voice sounded like Powerpuff Girls attorney at large. I mean, that's what we're doing. I'm in love with the voice changer. It's crazy. I love it so much. Cause severe emotional distress. I don't doubt that, by the way. The internet can absolutely cause severe and emotional distress. It's the internet. It's not nice. The internet can be awful. We try to keep this little space of the internet nice. We have rules. We have moderators. They're lovely moderators. Thank you. We have this amazing community of law nerds. Law nerds, thank you. You are the greatest. But the internet generally is wild. But I don't know if that's going to count for IIED. I don't downplay that the internet can cause severe emotional distress. If it's intentional infliction that someone can be sued for is a whole different thing. I don't think these are extreme and outrageous claims. Personal opinion at this point. I just, based on everything we've looked at, negligent infliction of emotional distress. Defendant's conduct caused injury, has suffered serious mental injury, has sustained damages in excess of $7,500. This is like the most bare bones allegation this is a bare bones allegation. Bare bones. Tortious interference with business relations and potential business relations. This is where we ended up seeing issues with the Triller lawsuit with Ethan Klein. Triller was like, no, it interfered with potential clients. And the court's like, how? Show me where the potential clients were. Did they say it to you? And they're like, well, no, less people clicked. You can't prove that less people clicked. Courts are not there yet. They are not there connecting it. So that's a little bit harder. And we saw in filings in the Toddy Westbrook suit in Washington, we saw people saying, look, after I watched these videos and heard these allegations, I stopped buying Toddy's product. That's a much more direct link than less people clicked on my videos. That's not going to be enough. Let's see what they're saying here. The false and outrageous statements about his alleged integrity, dishonesty, and untrustworthiness were improper actions or wrongful conduct by the defendant. Defendant acted purposely with malice. Defendant's conduct induced third parties not to enter into or continue a business relationship with Armstrong, but they give nothing else. Also caused financial injury by reducing the number of his followers. Watch time is king up here on the YouTubes. You don't get paid by subscriber. You get paid by how many people watch your videos. So I don't think one follows the other, that financial injury came because of reducing the number of followers. How many followers were reduced? I have a question. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I just need to know. Well, I don't think I'll be able to get back into 2021. I'm not going to go on a deep dive. It's feeling trillery. Some of this is trillery. Let's see. No, I'm not. We're not. Violation of Uniform Deceptive Practices Act. And that's like, hey, we do the same thing and you're trying to dissuade them from using your services. But it sounds like they are absolutely different types of YouTubers. Violation of Fair Business Practices Act. Punitive damages, which has to be pled specifically in Georgia, like we saw in the Cardi B case. Attorney's fees, like we saw in the Cardi B case. And they're looking for compensatory special damages, general damages, lost profits to be proven at trial. Demand for jury trial. Signed by attorney, and signed by attorney. Great. That one's going to be interesting. I think we've got a big jurisdiction issue, but I think it's got some pleading issues. I think it'll get yeeted on jurisdiction first, though, and then we'll see what happens next. But this is This is going to be, this is a slow road to nowhere at this point. Just what outrageousness. What outrageousness. All right. Y'all ready to talk about Elaine? Let's talk about Elaine. Let's talk about Elaine. Oh, yes. Tech, please end the poll. Thank you. Let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. Sherry said, first comment, watched a lot of your past episode. Thank you. You won the lottery. I saw first and then we pulled it up. Let's see how many of you knew these YouTubers as we get into this. You guys are 75% no. 12%, some 11% yes. So most of the audience is like, who, what, huh now? What are we talking about? All right, let us move on to Elaine. Y'all saw the news Monday morning. Here's the thing. A lot happened in like the Amber Heard space over the weekend. I generally don't give comment to things that go on social media at all. But there for those of you that are on Twitter, a lot went on Twitter with whether or not a particular Twitter account was or was not connected to Amber Heard's PR team, was an individual from Amber Heard's PR team, any of that. So there was stuff going down all weekend long involving the real Laura B and these other Twitter accounts that just was wild. I'm sure it's been covered in videos by others. I'm sure it's been covered on real Laura B's channel or on her Twitter. If you follow this case this closely, to follow the people who comment almost exclusively on this case, you might already be aware of what was going on social media. The only reason I bring up what was going on social media is because this press release came out way fucking early Monday morning. Like Chanley Painter shared this at like 8 a.m. my time. So what, 9 a.m. Eastern? That's a really, really early morning for a press release. And the timing was curious to me. That's all. The timing was curious to me that there was all this stuff going on over the weekend. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, Amber Heard has new lawyers. Elaine's out. Here's this whole press release. Maybe they were planning it in advance. Maybe this plan came along over the weekend. Maybe they always knew that they were going to release it. But it's not weird to hire appellate counsel at all. Like, it's not strange. So why does it even need a press release? This just happens. Why put out a press release with a statement from Elaine other than shifting the goalpost or shifting the attention? It seemed sus to me. That's all. It seemed sus. The timing of the press release was weird. Hiring new attorneys, not weird. Elaine no longer really working with Amber Heard, not weird. Hiring people to do appeals, appellate work is very specialized and nuanced, and it's very much more document heavy. It's all written. The appellate courts have different rules. God help me, I never want to do appeals. I don't even like reading through appellate stuff. Sometimes it's interesting, but never. Litigation was for me. But it just seemed interesting. The timing was interesting. So we're going to look at Elaine's statement. Amber hired new lawyers. These lawyers are going to continue to work with Rottenborn. They're going to go through the record and they are going to bring up the appellate arguments. The appellate arguments cannot be new things that weren't presented in trial. It might be new information that gives context to why the court ruled a certain way or didn't rule a certain way, but they have to go through legal grounds. And we should see that filing of the appellate briefs in just a few weeks. I mean, what day is it? It's the 16th of August. So in a few, like beginning of September is when these are due. So when did they hire these attorneys? I imagine it was earlier than this, because you need to get your appellate brief in. It's a lot of documents. I mean, this court, not as much as Britney, but this court has so much so many legal filings, so many documents, so much litigation that went on pre-trial. It's a lot to cover. It's a lot of rulings. It's a lot of evidentiary rulings. So I don't know if they hired these attorneys weeks ago and just released it, or if they, I don't know. I know when they released the press release, I don't know when they were hired. It's interesting. So you guys are asking, is it true? Oh, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about, is it true that these are the attorneys that TMZ has? We'll talk about that in a minute. I need to pull up that filing. But we need to lip gloss as well. So we need to lippy. So we can get on, because then we need to get on to Britney stuff. Cammie says she's trying to stay relevant on the Twitters. I stay off the Twitters. I'm about to be off the Twitters. I love connecting with y'all, but I don't like getting sucked into like all of the stuff. Let's take a look at Chanley Painter's tweet. She released the PR statement. I will say, of all the PR press releases from Amber Heard's team, this one is the most cogent for me. Amber Heard hires new appellate counsel. Yay. Did she have previous appellate counsel? Like, isn't it just Amber Heard hires appellate counsel? Unless she was anticipating Elaine to be appellate counsel and fired Elaine. Because did she have other appellate counsel before this? I have questions. August 15th, Washington, D.C., Amber Heard has hired Ballad Spar, I think, as her lead appellate counsel in preparation for filing to appeal the June 1st defamation trial verdict. Great. Led by David L. Axelrod and J. Ward Brown, the pair successfully defended the New York Times against Sarah Palin's defamation lawsuit earlier this year. Okay. Jay has been represented. Well, did they do it at trial, though? Are they trial attorneys? Like, why are they the appellate team if they're at trial? I have questions. Jay has been representing journalists, news organizations, documentary filmmakers, and other speakers in First Amendment cases for 30 years. Okay. David is a former federal prosecutor and first chair trial lawyer who represents companies and individuals in high-stakes civil litigation. So a litigator. So they're litigators. Why are they bringing on litigators as their appellate attorneys? Because the thing about litigators is, I mean, not that attorneys can't know multiple things. Attorneys know a lot of things. But generally, when you see specialized appellate counsel, they are appellate counsel, not litigators. It's like in Office Space when the employee's like, no, engineers don't talk to the public. I talk to the public. Engineers aren't good with people. It's kind of like appellate lawyers. Look, appellate lawyers deal with the court. Litigators deal with juries. It's different. But these resumes sound like litigation resumes, not appellate resumes. I mean, okay. And if they just did the Palin trial, they're litigators. We welcome the opportunity to represent Ms. Heard in this appeal, as it is a case with important First Amendment implications for every American. Okay. I mean, okay. They've got a specific, a very, very specific angle that they are going with. And that's the direction they're going. I don't think this case has important First Amendment implications for every American. This case is not that big. This case is, it's a case between two people. I mean, most Americans aren't these individuals. This is a very specific case. Okay. We're confident the appellate court will apply the law properly without deference to popularity. Okay. Reverse the judgment against Ms. Heard and reaffirm the fundamental principles of free speech. Free speech is limited. Defamation is not free speech. You can't freely defame people. It's interesting the way they say we'll apply the law properly, implying that Judge A did not apply the law properly, or perhaps that they believe the jury did not apply the law properly. Without deference to popularity, which I feel like is a dig at the jury more than a dig at the judge. But before this trial, was Amber Heard the less popular party? Were really? I mean, that's not what I had seen, but maybe it is. I didn't pay attention so much to whose popularity was higher or lower. I saw that Johnny Depp wasn't getting work and Amber Heard was. I assumed that his popularity was lower than hers. That was just my assumption coming into this trial. That tide has shifted since the trial, I think substantially. But okay. That's, look, zealous advocacy of their client. Ben Rottenborn of Woods Rogers Vanderbeek. No, that's two names, not one, Emily. Good Lord. Vandenventer Black, that is okay. WRVB will continue to represent Heard as co-counsel, while Elaine Charlson Bredehoft of Bredehoft, Cohn, Brown, and Needlehoft is stepping down. Oh, Baby Rottenborn's a named partner. Congratulations, Baby Rottenborn. This is the perfect time to pass the baton, said Elaine. I have pledged to Amber. This is my favorite Elaine moment ever. 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 I have pledged to Amber and her appellate team my complete cooperation and assistance as they move forward on a path towards success. You did that. You did that, Elaine. You pledged. You pledged. You pledged. And just, you pledged. Great. Well played. This is my favorite moment in this entire press release, is that, does she know? Was this intended? Or was this Elaine being cheeky and clever? Or was this Elaine stepping into it by accident? I'm not sure. But she has pledged her complete cooperation. She's not donating her time. She has pledged her cooperation. I think they're going to be looking at what she did in this case. I am not surprised that Rottenborn is staying on. From the beginning of this case, Rottenborn had the clearer legal angle on this. He was always the one arguing the law. She was always kind of going over the facts in her own shotgun and throw it against the wall and see what sticks kind of approach. When you look back at Rottenborn's opening argument before everything, you're like, oh, if Rottenborn tries this case this way, the way he laid it out in his opening, it's going to be very, very hard for Johnny Depp to win. And then Elaine stepped up and started talking, and I was like, oh boy, okay. But if this is an intentional serve, it's well played, and I appreciate it. I appreciate the intentional serve. But it just, again, these seem like litigators, both of these attorneys, which is odd if you're hiring appellate specialists that you're hiring litigators, but whatever. It's not odd to hire new lawyers. Is insurance paying for them? Who knows? Like, at this point, I guess we'll see it play out in the insurance stuff. Let's go pull that TMZ motion and see if it's the same firm, just to kind of put that to bed. I know that that it was talked about. Who posted about it on social media? Morgan Tremaine posted about it on social media. Is saying that they were the same lawyers. So let's just go and take a peek real quick. I've got to find that motion. It's going to take me but a moment. Because I didn't think of pulling it before. Totally should have, but didn't. Let's see. There are so many. I need to reorganize all of the things. Let's find it in here. Let's look. Can we control F ourselves into finding this quickly? Perhaps. Would that be delightful? Yes. Did that happen? Negative ghostwriter. The pattern is full. Darn it. All right. We're going to zoom real quick. It should be down here at the bottom because it was towards the end of trial, which is super helpful. At least it was. I could hear my husband sneezing from like 3 rooms away. There's something special about how loudly that human is capable of sneezing. Where is this special motion to intervene? Oh, these are some of the unsealed documents. That's not helpful. Nope, nope, nope. Sorry, y'all. It's going to take me just a moment to find this special motion to intervene. No, those are from the wrong year. Where are we? Sorry, y'all. You guys are like, hey, are you going to cover the Vanessa Bryant case? I originally covered it a while ago. I know it's getting ready to go to trial. I need to see what kind of coverage is coming out of trial so I can cover it. I think actually they are in trial, but I will have to see how much is coming out of trial to see if I can cover it in a way that is helpful. But I've been keeping an eye. I just have not looked back in a minute. All right, almost here. Almost here. Post-trial motions, judgment order, exhibits, corrected transcripts, filing of transcripts. All right, we've found ourselves in the right time frame. I just don't see it. Darn it. I know I have it somewhere, but let me, I have one more option. We're going to look because now I need this question answered. And those of you in the chat who are like, why can't we just let it go? That's not how ADHD works for me. Why can't we just let it go? Because we cannot. Once we need the question answered, we absolutely need the question answered. Here it is. I just went to the court's website and pulled it up. That was much easier. I don't remember. I remember watching this happen the day it happened. Oh, that's the wrong. Oh, that's why. All right, hold on. All right, I had it pulled up in the wrong window. Sorry, friends. Let's see who filed this. So, emergency motion to intervene by EHM Productions, Inc. for limited purpose of asserting journalistic privilege. Celebrity news website TMZ. I remember Ben Chu got snarky or not snarky or apologized for being snarky. I might have to go watch this hearing again. It was a very interesting hearing. Lots happened in this trial that was so interesting to watch, but let's see. Yeah, Ballard Spahr, different attorneys, same law firm. So this is signed by Charles somebody and Aaliyah Smith. This is their DC office of the law firm. Let's see. And this is, does this say what office of the law firm it is? Are they with a different branch? But the law firm moved to intervene in the trial on behalf of TMZ, same law firm, different attorneys, unless the attorney that signed it was not the attorney that showed up in court. Wait, that says Charles Brown. This is or Charles something. This is J. Ward Brown. So this says Charles something. So I would have to go back and actually watch, but that is the same law firm. Interesting. I don't know if it's the exact same attorneys, but the same. The press release says they have 15 offices. They're a large law firm. I'm not surprised. This is when the judge told Ben Chu, you're just a snarky guy. It is. Which is interesting, but they moved to intervene on behalf of TMZ. It doesn't really impact, they probably work at different locations, but it doesn't really impact the appeal any because they're not at odds, if that helps. Because TMZ was trying to stop Morgan Tremaine from testifying, not at odds for Amber Heard. I'm sure she wanted Morgan Tremaine not to testify too. So let us get to our next topic, and then we're gonna get to questions. Lots of questions. I have questions. You have questions. We have questions. I can't wait to get to questions. We're gonna FAQ around and find out. So, I thought Morgan Tremaine said same attorneys that tried to keep him from testifying. That's what he said. I just don't know if same firm. I don't think it's the exact same attorneys, but that's just based on the filing. Let us go to a few things coming in the Britney case. Ready? It's Britney, bitch. Let's talk about it real quick. All right. So if you have not caught up with everything that's been going on lately with Britney Spears, I completely understand. It looks like her ex-husband, well, I guess they were annulled. I don't know if you call them their ex-husband. Jason Alexander, not the actor, who broke into her house on her wedding day, was convicted. So that happened. He's been in custody since the wedding day. And where did I pull that up? So convicted of trespassing and battery. That is, let's see. We'll just pull that up first. So that is kind of the first new thing that happened that I have not yet covered. Britney Spears' ex-husband convicted of trespassing battery after breaking into her home on her wedding day. Who knew that leave Britney alone would turn out to be very sound legal advice? I mean, it's very memeable, but I think it's fair. I think everyone should leave Britney alone. Like literally everyone, just leave her alone. This goes for K-Fed. Leave Britney alone. I'm sure K-Fed's like, I would like to tell my side. Now is not the time, K-Fed, especially if you're going to attack the mother of your children. Britney Spears' former husband has been convicted of aggravated trespassing and battery after he attempted to crash the singer's wedding in June. Look, don't live stream yourself committing crimes. Maybe. I mean, don't commit the crimes also, but also don't live stream it. Jason Alexander, whose marriage to Spears lasted 55 hours following a 2004 Las Vegas ceremony, pleaded no contest to the misdemeanor charges on Friday. The AP reports a Ventura County judge sentenced him to 64 days. He'd already served in jail, and the prosecutors dropped a felony stalking charge and misdemeanor vandalism charge that he was also facing. So he pled and got time served. Alexander, 40, tried to enter Spears' locked bedroom in her home in Thousand Oaks as the pop star prepared to marry Sam Asghari. I mean, look, having your ex show up on your wedding day is weird. Having your ex break into your home and try to get into your locked bedroom is next level, especially after everything she's been through. Leave Britney alone. Alexander live streamed his actions on Instagram and insisted over and over that he be allowed to speak to Spears. Quote, "She is my first wife, my only wife. I am her first husband. I am here to crash the wedding," he said in a video captured by TMZ. Well, I mean, he captured the wedding and then, put it on Instagram. I'm sure TMZ has the full thing. Do they have somebody just assigned to when people go live to just record it in case it gets taken down, or in the event it gets taken down? A sheriff's deputy testified that he found a Gerber folding box cutter in Alexander's possession. Spears' attorney, Matthew Rosengart, previously told EW he would be aggressively pursuing all appropriate charges against Alexander. I mean, only civil charges because the DAs have the decision to do all the criminal stuff. Spears' wedding did move forward. They tied the knot in front of a crowd, including Madonna, Drew Barrymore, and Selena Gomez. Asghari is Spears' third husband. After her brief marriage to Alexander, she went on to wed Kevin Federline in 2004. The couple, who split in 2007, have 2 children. Federline recently made the news. We're not getting into what the fuck K-Fed's up to, but that is the first thing. With that, there is also an update on all of the court proceedings in a little more succinct way that was not last week, but the week before's podcast episode, which is up here and up on your favorite podcasting app. But we have seen repeatedly Britney Spears' father, yeeted Jamie Spears' attorney, Weingarten, alleging or insinuating or stating that the records will vindicate yeeted, and that when records are unsealed, they will vindicate. It felt, sitting in court, vaguely threatening, like, we're going to get these records unsealed. So I'm not surprised that we saw Rosengart on August 1st file a motion. We're not going to go through this entire thing. We're going to skim, and then we're going to get to the latest stipulation. A notice of motion to seal Britney Spears' private confidential information memorandum of points and authority. Does it also make me want to sing points of authority? Yes. Am I going to? No. But this is, again, trying to make sure that Britney's private documents that should remain private are remaining private. And there is a balance of transparency in the courts and keeping private information private. And I think the Spears court kept a lot out of the eye of the public. And I think there's room to allow the public to know what's going on without getting into private medical data, private planning, and things that happened in the past and this conservatorship with regard to Britney's care. So let's see. This is set for hearing as set forth in the memoranda. A motion is made on the grounds that exhibits 1 through 21 are confidential materials that contain confidential, personal, private, medical, and other sensitive information governed by the above, as well as HIPAA. And yes, it's HIPAA, not HIPPA, but yes, I still HIPAA, and CMIA, which warrant protection from public disclosure. The parties intend to keep the materials confidential. In short, Mr. Spears' July 22nd filing was an improper effort to end run the rules seeking to unseal private materials. That backdoor tactic should not be countenanced by the court. This is Rosengart for its dirtbag behavior. We're gonna bring it back around to Rosengart. So Rosengart has issue with the July 22nd filing from Yeeted Spears' attorney to keep this information sealed. And gets into Mr. Spears improperly shifted the burden to Miss Spears to ensure that her private, sensitive, confidential information remains protected. There is no constitutional right of access to conservatorship proceedings, which is fair. The lodged documents related to an already denied discovery motion, and there is no presumption of the public's right to access the same. And we heard Rosengart arguing about this in the last court hearing. He was saying, look, you can't just put these things in front of the court, and argued that Weingarten had effectively unsealed the documents of their own motion, like sua sponte, just unsealed them and submitted them to the court. And Rosengart was clearly pissed. And again, it feels vaguely threatening, like, oh, we're just going to do things. Because the way Weingarten is arguing it in court is, oh, well, there are documents that will vindicate Yeeted Spears. He's one hair away from saying mountains of evidence and therapist notes when he talks about this stuff. So this is what Rosengart is arguing to the court that Yeeted's attorney is doing. In yet another regrettable and mean-spirited attempt to bully, harass, and intimidate his own daughter, James Spears has unfortunately sunk to a new low. That's Rosengart speak for dirtbag shit. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm reading into this. In his July 22nd submission, he took portions of his daughter's private, sensitive, and confidential information, which were already under seal, and filed them conditionally under seal, necessitating this motion to ensure the documents remain under seal. In so filing, Mr. Spears has improperly shifted the burden to his daughter to affirmatively once again act to seal her private, sensitive, confidential materials. Ironically, it is Yeeted and his prior counsel who previously moved to seal Miss Spears' confidential records, and even putting aside his misplaced and highly improper motivations for his latest tactics, there is no legal basis for them, and they must not be countenanced by the court. Footnote 1. What footnote voice should we use? We can't do the high pitch one. We'll do the deep pitch one. Footnote voice.
Mr. Spears is also on notice that if this information is leaked, as he evidently hopes, he will be held responsible for his actions.
Interesting. That's the on notice. If this information gets out, it is a problem. One would have hoped that since his September 29th, 2021 suspension as conservator, Yeeted and his counsel would have shown a measure of grace and decency towards Britney Spears. Instead, they have done the opposite. Their first act was legally meritless on December 15th, 2021. That petition for more legal fees from the estate of Britney Spears, despite their belligerence and hostility towards her, filed by abusive discovery and multiple harassing motions, all while falsely promising unconditional cooperation. They pledged it, Rosengart. They pledged their unconditional cooperation. It was not in fact promised. It was pledged. It was never given, but it was pledged. It was pledged. And complete transparency without conditions, also pledged. And now, with no legal basis, they continue to harass Britney Spears, seeking to violate her constitutional and other fundamental rights of privacy. They are also abusing the process and system in their efforts to do so. With the greatest respect for the court, we ask that it order Mr. Spears, yeeted, to cease and desist from these intimidation tactics and his improper, profligate motion practice. Because again, it's costing Britney more money that he won't stop with this. And this is how Rosengart talks in court. This is exactly how he talks in court. And it is a good tactic. Look, lawyers, young lawyers, appeal to the judge. So wise, so great, Your Honor. Thank you. But the other side's fucked. Can you make them stop? Because they're wasting your time. You have been so correct, Your Honor. You are so great. So great. But can you make them stop? They need to stop. Please tell them to knock it the fuck off. And it's been very, very effective for Rosengart. The court clearly listens to him. As we stated during the July 27th, 2022 hearing, I was there. That was the one I was at. Even if...
Could you say that again? I'm having trouble hearing you.
That scared the shit out of me. Siri, no. Just...
Okay.
Other one. Shush. Oh my goodness. All right. Now that the S word assistant has actually scared the holy living crap out of me, let us regain ourselves. I need a fan. I need a Peter Mon style fan. As we stated during the July 27th hearing, even if Yeated somehow truly believes his lawyer's statement that he supposedly did quote unquote nothing wrong, despite the evidence to the contrary, and even if he actually believes he is a quote unquote hero, his daughter has expressed that she was traumatized by him. He argued all of this in court. His own wonderful, iconic daughter is now free and wants to move on with her life. Iconic. That should be all that matters. That is all that would matter to a decent, loving father, also what he said in court. Rather than listening to his cohorts at TriStar who are presumably paying his litigation fees and expenses. Oh, now he's just slinging some mud. Now he's just like, he's hurling mud at Yeated at this point. He's like, who's paying for this shit? Presumably it's TriStar. How do you know that? Just gonna toss it on out there. He should accept this reality. I've not seen that reported anywhere. Did anyone cover this document? Because they're accusing TriStar of paying Yeated's legal fees. I mean, he's trying to get Britney to pay his legal fees. He should accept his losses in court. He should stop abusing the process. He should stop harassing and bullying his daughter, and he should move on. This is what he argued in court. That is what any decent, loving father would do. This should not have to be explained to him again. But yet again, we appeal to any sense of grace or decency to do what is just and right. This is exactly the way he argues in court too. He's done. Like, you can see how pissed Rosengart is, and you can see there's no love lost in court between him and Weingarten, like none at all. As discussed in the other brief stemming from the whistleblower New York Times' September 24th, 2021, extensive front page reporting by the incredible Liz Day and physical and documentary evidence, Mr. Spears had an evident, blatant disregard for his daughter's right to privacy during the conservatorship, including his involvement in contemporaneously monitoring and capturing her private text messages in real time through iCloud mirroring. This is all what they were arguing in court. Let's see what they are trying to get sealed, because this is a lot of rehashing, not just what's already been in these motions, but in court. But half of what Rosengart is writing is not necessarily for the court. Some of this is absolutely for the public and the media, which, dual purpose in all things. Here, their legal argument about burden shifting. What are they asking the court to do? Because I want to go look at the notice of motion to seal. Oh, they attached the original motion to seal. I want to look at what they're asking. For the foregoing reasons, this motion should be granted. Spears should have never filed the exhibits attached to the second supplemental Weingarten declaration, which contained private, personal, medical, and confidential information. Because he did so, however, he should have sought to seal the materials himself. Indeed, most of the records were already sealed and required no further sealing order because he just needed to file it that way. Because Yeated abandoned even that basic duty to maintain confidentiality of obviously sensitive private non-public materials, Britney was forced to bear further expense in bringing this motion. And then they came up with some type of protective order. Now, they have a stipulated protective order. The court denied it on a technicality and sent them back to sign something. But I don't have any doubt that this will get granted. But it's why you need to read the motions, because when you just look at the docket, it says denied. And I was like, wait, what? So that's why we pulled the motions. We're going to look at this and then get to questions. Stipulation and protective order. Both attorneys agree. Stipulation means, Your Honor, we agree. Can we do this? We want to do this. Let us do this. This is what we're doing. Also, I see the almost 17,000 of you here. Don't forget to do like the likey, subscribey, YouTubey things. It would sure help. And make sure you double check that you're still subscribed, because YouTube sometimes helpfully just unsubscribes you on occasion. It is hereby stipulated between Yeated and Britney that, let's see. This involves deposition testimony too. Interesting. Let's see what else. Information provided in the form of documents. They're defining everything, which as lawyers you have to do. You have to define everything. Access to and or disclosure of confidential materials shall be permitted only to the following persons or entities: the court, let's see, trial counsel for the parties, outside experts and expert consultants, any person who authored the thing, court reporters. Confidential materials and highly confidential materials shall be used by the persons or entities receiving them only for the purposes of preparing for, conducting, participating, or conducting in prosecuting, defending the proceeding, and not for any business or other purpose whatsoever. So this is trying to limit things. I think this is not just getting ready for the depositions, but for other discovery disclosures that are going to be happening. So this is making sure that they are all on the same page. This is how it should be written: confidential, filed under seal, pursuant to the protective order. This is that protective order, so they don't have to get the court to approve it being under seal for each thing, and then they need to get the court to sign it. I think this is probably what's wrong. They didn't fill that in. And that's it. So they have put together a protective order so they are able to do their disclosures. The deadline has passed for James Spears' deposition. There was no other filing ordering him to appear. The court ordered him to appear. If he hadn't appeared, there should have been a filing Monday morning. There hasn't been one that's populated yet. So I think by all looks, Yeated probably sat for his deposition, and this protective order got filed on August 12th. So that would have been right around, I think the last day for his deposition was either the 12th or the 15th. So this is making sure that things disclosed are taken care of, which needs to happen. And with that, we should get to questions. We used to just say, or I used to just say, I've got questions, you have questions, we have questions. But then we decided that it was really FAQ around and find out. So let's FAQ around and find out. It's FAQ around and find out. FAQ around and find out. All right, I'm going to get to a few super chats while you guys get your questions in here. Make sure that you say or put a Q or a question mark in the front so I know it's a question and not just a statement for the class, because you're going to end up being my kid where it's like, they said they had a question, but then they really just had a statement. It's really not a question. So let us go. Froggy Girl said, so glad you're feeling better. I'm also happy I get to actually catch a live. Yay, you're doing it at the right time. Thank you. You know, when I can't do the daytime streams, and today I was at an event that I shared over on Instagram with Gibson Gives. Gibson guitars are manufactured here in Nashville. They have a charitable branch. They had the lead guitarist for the band Rush, who was talking about a performance he just did with like Matt Stone from South Park and one of the members of Primus. I was like, wait, what in the world is happening? But they were talking about how they support support two organizations here through their charitable giving through Gibson Gives. And it was a really cool event. But that's why I ended up moving this. It was benefiting Room at the Inn, which helps people transition through homelessness and get back on their feet. And then Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. We've actually used services at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. Both of my kiddos have had hospitalization stuff when they were born. So it's something, near and dear. And it was a really interesting event. So that when I move streams, or when I have to move streams, I try to move them into the evening so that we can chat at the time that I would have been doing Friday Night Live. So I feel like I'm sitting low. Jojo Miller. This is from Rotten Ralph. I thought this was hilarious. Emily is never late nor early. She arrives precisely when she means to. Yes, I am an enigma. Time is a construct. Sometimes 7 means 7. Sometimes 7 means 7:05. It just happens. It just happens. Leslie said, did you name George so you could say I want to hug him and squeeze him and call him George? Hey to him and Fred, and from Molly and Jasper, fellow Ponards. I named him George because we named them after the Weasleys because they are gingers and they are brothers and they are mischievous. So it's great. Let's see. Hey, Emily, new law nerd from California. Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate it. Hey, I'm in my hospital bed after surgery on Monday. You're keeping me sane. Yay. Thank you for all that you do. Love you and love this channel. I have watched many a thing from a hospital bed. I know what that is like. There's no good sleep in a hospital. It's just the beeping and the prodding and the poking and all the things. Recover well. We talked about this at the beginning, Carmen. Thank you. So glad you are feeling better. Thank you. When in doubt, leave it out. I don't even remember what this was regarding, but always good advice. Jessica, thank you so much. A few months of bad luck. We hope that turns around. You're not alone though. It's been almost everyone has been like, what the fuck has been up the last few months? I get it. I just saw a profile of Amber's new lawyers for the appeal after she dumped Elaine, and these guys are serious heavy hitters. They probably are. They sound like litigators though. It doesn't, at some point though, it doesn't matter how good the lawyers are. They're stuck with the facts that they're stuck with. And I don't know if they're going to find any rulings. I mean, they're not going to roll over and go home, but no attorneys were going to. They're going to bring the appeal. I don't know if they have legal grounds for that appeal. So we'll see. Alexandria, I've been a teacher for 10 years, but after the Depp Heard trial, I've been inspired to pursue my original dream of being a lawyer. At 32, I feel too old to try. First of all, you are never too old to try, and you have amazing life experience that should be valued. The career of law needs people with more experience than just going to school and then going to another school and then trying to get into another school. So no, you are not at a disadvantage. I think you're at a great advantage because you have something called wisdom and perspective because of not just your very young age at the tender sweet age of 32. Oh, how I loved my 30s and missed them dearly. But you also have experience that matters, and law needs that. You need experience. So no, you're not at a disadvantage. You know what you want to do. Make sure that you find a law school that works with you. It is not worth going into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt over. So make sure you find a school that values you. A legal education does not have to cost you your entire future of indebtedness. No one told me this when I went to law school. So Terry said, love News Nations. They try to stay in the middle with the watch. And now I don't work for them. I'm not sure what the end part means, but yes, it seems like they do try to present the news, which I appreciate. So excited to finally catch a live editing this week's Sunday Reset while I listen to your chat. Thanks for the company. You are welcome. Editing is always fun. Can I send $100 to you for Jen? Can't do online shopping. It gets me in trouble. Heather, it's okay. I can help you find a way to connect with Jen or Nick or Dustin directly. Don't send things through me. Don't send things through me. But you can reach out to Jen on her socials and see if there's anything she needs. But it's okay to not do online shopping. Turquoise Jennifer said, I played the Akinator app the other day with my 20-year-old and you were on there. What? I have no idea what that is. But okay, I feel like if Akinator knows you, I feel like IG should verify. I have no idea what that is, but okay. But okay. So thank you. Question, where was the govern yourselves accordingly from? I think the first time we saw it in legal filings was in a letter with regard to the H3 Ethan Klein Triller lawsuit with Triller, not with Ryan Kavanaugh, but it might have also been with Ryan Kavanaugh. But it's a 20 questions AI game. Oh, that's very cool. But a lot of lawyers use govern yourselves accordingly in their letters of like, you suck and you did this, and if you don't do this, we're gonna sue you. Govern yourselves accordingly. So let's see. Cloud Fox says, if you fan a revolver, you need to have the trigger pulled back. Otherwise, it locks the hammer back. But he said he didn't touch the trigger, Cloud Fox. That's what he said. I swear we read a Rust lawsuit alleging crew members had taken guns during lunch and were shooting cans. Wouldn't this be where the bullet came from? I have not seen that in any of the lawsuits. I saw it mentioned in the media shortly after this, but I have not seen that in any of the lawsuits. Two hands, too many games. Hi, Emily. I knew you passed it by, but I sent you a message via Insta with regards to the Rust stuff, and I happen to work in props that handle that stuff. I will absolutely go look for it. I get a lot of DMs, so if I missed it, I apologize. You can also use my my email that's public on all of my socials. If Kelly was willing to pay off his accusers, why not instead attempt to settle the case? Sassy footnote, I don't know. It's different in criminal because settling the case in these types of case, you can't just settle it. It normally involves like prison time and sex offender registration status and things like that. So settling this type of case, settling these types of crimes is different than settling a civil case. So, Sammy is random. Post Depp versus Heard trial. I don't know why more people are now support Amber. I don't know if more people do. I think it just seems that way on Twitter because of the media. It's an odd thing. Heard's team has been working hard since this trial has been over, and we've not seen much from Depp. Like, I don't think Depp has a PR team that's trying to put out stories. It has been a bit odd. It's been odd that it maintains the news cycle. And it's funny because when the legacy media is like, oh my God, the content creators still talk about this. Y'all are still talking about it. If y'all weren't still talking about it, the rest of us could move on. Question, is the new attorneys bad for Johnny? I don't think the new attorneys are bad for anybody. They're just other attorneys working on the appeal. Attorneys are always going to work on the appeal. Honestly, I think new attorneys are probably better for Depp because they don't have to deal with Elaine, and there seems to be some tension in that relationship based on all the emails we saw before. So maybe it's attorneys they feel like they could work with, but in the appeal process, you're not really working to resolve anything. This one side files something, the other side files something, the court parses it out. They're not really going to be interacting as much. So I don't think it's good or bad. It's just a fact that happened. Thoughts on Viva getting smeared by USA Today? I didn't know that happened. I don't know why legacy media is mad at YouTubers. It's odd to me. I know it shouldn't be, and money and attention. It feels like there's enough room for everybody, but I had not seen that. Brianna, I know Atozy. I know BitBoy from Atozy's video. I mean, there we go. Donna C said, could this be precedent setting for other potential YouTube defamation suits? Not this one, but they did get some of the allegations I would like to see. Like, if you are intentionally interfering with someone's business, Because there's a long way between, if you know people who like this person, send them to go watch my video. It's like, who's the toxic TikTok guy? God, I don't want to say people's name and summon them into the algorithm. But the toxic TikTok guy who Phil DeFranco was talking about, it'd be like, oh, if somebody's watching toxic TikTok guy, here's the link to Phil DeFranco's video talking about it. That's not interfering with someone's business. It's like, hey, you should be informed about this. Going after sponsors and stuff is different. Trying to actually actively say, you can't, don't buy these supplements, don't buy these things or that thing. It's different. Going after people's sponsors and stuff is different than just saying, hey, if you know someone who's following this person, maybe you should send them my thoughts on it. It's distinguishable to me. I want to tell these boys to go to timeout. Not everything's defamation, even if it hurts your feelings. Sometimes the internet can just be mean. Yo-Yo G, will you look into Keely Roden case or BJ being sued? I don't know what the Keely Roden case is. I've gotten tagged a lot about BJ being sued. I don't know if she has addressed it yet. I would love to see what she has to say first. Remember when it felt weird seeing internet nicknames in Metaspace and now we're seeing them in court documents? Yes. Yes, it does. And yes, I did. Someone's all up in their feelings about allegedly being called a dirtbag. I think they were called a dirtbag. I think we know that probably happened in the video. I'm pretty confident, based on the allegations, that word is so specific that was probably the word used. Is that opinion and hyperbole? Probably. But yes, it does seem like somebody's feelings are hurt. The SEC won't let him be. Won't let me be. Let me be me. You guys are saying BJ has addressed it. Okay, I'll take a look. You called him a dirtbag, go sit on the naughty step for 2 months. I mean, yeah, you just, no time for recess. So it's interesting. All right, let's see. Oh my God, replay crew here, finally catching my first live. Thanks for being my body double while cleaning. Well, you're welcome. Happy to do it. Revengeance Sir Alf said, I'm trying real hard and I just see harsh opinions. Yep. I have been overtaken by my big ginger cat Jojo and wanted to donate to your 2 ginger paw nerds, as the ginger cats must unite. They will unite and they'll take over the world because they are mischievous. Candace Ortiz sings, I'm not a crypto dirtbag. I'm not a crypto dirtbag, baby. Don't listen to A to Z now, baby, because he's got a neg opinion, baby. Oh, I got that all wrong. I joined too late. Ooh. God, that was awful. But Candace, your lyrics were brilliant. I just can't sing. Newly joined, love this channel. Thank you so much, April. We can look at the historical value of PAMP, and it really looks like a pump and dump. The URL for the currency is even gone. Huh. That's interesting. I would love a history. Has CoffeeZilla broken down PAMP yet? I need to know. Beats Kill Bean. What? Why does this feel like a housewife suing over something dumb that ends up uncovering their own fraud or something and gets them popped? I don't know. It's weird because the article, and we did not go through every single word, but if the lawsuit is saying, hey, this person is giving financial advice, it's probably bad. It's probably bad. That's probably bad. I see you guys saying hi to Boss Attorney Bree in the chat. Hello, Boss Attorney Bree in the chat. So if you guys have other questions, of course, you don't have to super chat them. Just put a Q or a question mark so I can actually see them. For sure. Lord Croco Squirrel, what is she working on now? FAQ and find out. Questions. We're working on questions. Question, how can my company become a sponsor for your channel? Lee Rodriguez, go ahead and shoot me an email. It's on my Twitter and on my Instagram. I need to put it in my description, but Emily D. Baker at 74 Brands. You can send it there and it will get seen. So thank you. Question, is it legal to play the audio of someone's podcast on your channel? Well, it just depends. Sorry to give a douchey lawyer answer, but it just depends. Is it legal to take someone's podcast and just re-upload it? That's going to violate their copyright in their podcast. Is fair use an existing defense to copyright infringement? Yes. So it really depends on what and how much and how. So that's what it does. Paralegal student here. Gerardo, your hair is fire. Love to play future professor. What would you title the semester going over the Depp case? Would your final exam as an exam of the court of public opinion or a CV objection list? There would have to be a lot of objections covered. Like you would have to cover a lot of evidence. What would I title it? What if anything can be learned from public trials? That's probably what I would do it. That's probably what I would title it. So, yeah, something in there. I would probably try to come up with something cheeky. So I would absolutely try to come up with something cheeky. I am trying to scroll back through questions to get to them. Miss Bredehoff's name begins with an E and not an A. It's Elaine, not Elaine. Elaine. It just is. We got to that question. All right, I'm going to try to zoom because I want to make sure I get to as many as I can because it's been a while since we've gotten to do questions. Can a mediator tell two parties to take a time out? Because I'm sure they want to. It depends on the type of mediation, but generally parties are in different rooms and the mediator goes back and forth and tries to be the voice of reason. If there was ever another law job I would do, mediator is something I would probably do at some point. But I like doing this more. Does that mean I won't end up mediating people in this space? Who knows? Who knows? Judge Emily Baker, no. Not unless it's like a fake internet judge. Do I want to be a judge? No. I like doing this way better. Yeah, no. I have friends that are judges. I have friends that are running for judge. It's all no. Judge Judy judge? Yes, that I would do. TV judge I would do. I would play one on television. Would I actually do? No, not at this point. Look, man, I do this. This is what I want to do. That I don't want to leave you guys. I don't want to leave you guys. Question, any thoughts on the Tim Norman murder for hire case and his mother suing a YouTuber for defamation? What? What? No, but I have questions. I have questions. Missy Abbott, one more Elaine in your voice, please. We're never done talking about Elaine. Question, are you going over the Marilyn Manson case? Not at this point. I need a minute to catch up on all of the other things we've done. Are you going to cover the Scamilton drama? If we're talking about the Hamilton productions, yes, I will. Because there is a similar case to it that I want to look up. So they're similar. Any news on the Law Nerds box? Yes, I got super delayed on getting it done because there is still stuff I have to do on the back end of my shop myself. And I was sick all last week, so I am behind. So I had to push our launch date. I will tell you when our launch date is. I just haven't reset the new launch date because I am just starting to feel better today. So, and even that, I'm like starting to like. So, question, have you seen Natalie and Rob's stream from yesterday? No, regarding potential arguments from Amber Heard and how unlikely it is the appellate court will overturn their own rulings on defamation by implication in her favor. I have not seen their stream. I trust both of those attorneys very much. I normally either agree with them outright or I'm like swayed. So no, I think this is a difficult appeal, but we haven't seen every single ruling. So I reserve judgment until I see the appellate briefs. I think it's a difficult appeal. All appeals are difficult. They are an uphill battle. You have already lost. But I want to see if they have any arguments of is there a wackadoodly ruling that we don't know about? Who knows? Anything is possible. Do I think it's enough to overturn the entire jury verdict? No. Courts are very deferential to juries. What time is your show tomorrow and will it be here? The podcast goes live at like 4 something in the morning on all your favorite podcasting apps. And then I will be premiering the video here. I have not set a time yet. I have to look at my calendar. I just hadn't had a time. Aspiring paralegal app cover letter advice. Oh, it has been so long since I have been in the world of job hunting. I don't even know what the current standards are to give any good advice. Be personable. People want to work with people that they like. So I would just be personable. That is what I would do. Question, will you be touching on the Daybell case? The Daybell case is real fucking dark. I have kids. I don't know yet if I just don't know yet if I want to. There are some cases that are tough to cover in any kind of a fair way. And I need to be true to me first, about how I like to cover things. And I have to make sure I can do that. I don't know if I want to. So we will see. We will see. I just don't know yet. Emily, did you know about Law and Lumber before I sent you a message on your cell phone? Haley, did I know about in what regards? Because I kind of met Rob through him streaming on other people's channels. And then, so that's how I met Rob, was through streaming on other people's channels. But I always love when people send me stuff to the text line. So there are so many cases, matters, and upcoming trials. Yeah, there's a lot coming up. Nightbot is the best kind of snark, and I love it. Yes, Nightbot is a sassy bot. Judge Emily from the bench. Wait, I have questions. Yeah, no, I don't want to judge. I don't want to actually do that. Question, since Amber Heard is appealing and Johnny Depp may also appeal, he filed notice of appeal. Will that mean that another 6-week trial? No. Terry, great question. I'm glad you asked. No, it will not. Here's how the appellate process works. It's mostly done by paper. It's all done. I mean, yes, there can be oral argument, but there's no new evidence. It's based on the transcripts, the rulings, the court hearings, the jury findings. It's based on all of that stuff that happened in the court and argument. And once again, it's easier to show once we get the appellate briefs to take a look at what they're arguing. The judge should have ruled this instead of that. The law says this instead of that. But it does not necessitate a new 6-week trial. It would be wild if we ended up with them overturning a verdict and ordering a new trial. That is such a far afield possibility. Things can happen where appellate courts can be like, yeah, the court should have done this instead of this, but it didn't have any impact. It didn't have any material impact. And so the court should have done this, not that, but it didn't impact the jury. Courts very rarely upset a jury verdict. It has to be pretty egregious. Question, I've seen after the unsealed documents came out, Johnny got a lot of backlash since I don't get to watch a lot of lives where you read them. What do you think? Is it fair? Is the backlash fair? I don't think the backlash is fair. I've gone through quite a few of the unsealed documents. I think they were unfairly characterized. I saw a lot of headlines that he was trying to admit nude photos. That wasn't exactly what was going on in those motions. I think there was a lot of fluff over nothing with those documents. I think there was a lot of upset over nothing. But I also think the documents were unflattering to both sides. We saw more of those text messages with Stephen Deuters. Okay, great. Why didn't he testify? That's the only question I have. There's these text messages here, but then why didn't he testify? You can't rely on the text messages without bringing the person in. Bring the person in. And this is what happens when people don't have the legal context and characterize things like, oh, Johnny Depp's trying to admit like revenge porn. It's like, that's not what those documents say, though. Something tells me that Emily already judges the Real Housewives. I definitely judge their disputes. I try not to judge people because I can't imagine living your life on TV like that for entertainment. I can't imagine it. And we've definitely seen tales of how things get edited and stuff. Can't imagine it. But I definitely judge the fights. I'm like, that is not what they said. And that is not what they said. And how did you extrapolate this from that? That's not fair at all. So We need you to do a Judge Judy, a LawTube series of mock cases. I mean, maybe, or just influencer court. We'll just settle disputes. Like the BitBoy Crypto dispute. It's like, that wasn't nice. I know your feelings are hurt, but I don't know if this is going to be defamation. I don't know if you're going to get the answer that you want. Can new evidence come into the appeals? No. It's based on the record. So it's based on the record that happened in the trial. No. So Cricket said, yes, it was the South Park 25th anniversary concert. It was nice. It seemed awesome. When can we get colorful merch? We are working on the merch shop. It has been a bit delayed due to me. I am the delaying factor with the merch shop, but there have also been delays with manufacturer. So I need to make sure before I put anything out, we have a reliable supply. I hate saying supply chain issues, but it's true. Need Judge EDB F versus FTV show appellate law. I definitely don't want to do but I would definitely do like influencer court. We'll resolve Real Housewives issues. We'll just take over the Andy Cohen place and just be like, no, this and then this and that and then this. Question, did you catch Lawyers and Dragons? I have not caught up on this week's Lawyers and Dragons. It's been unfortunately busy over here at, not unfortunately, it's just been busy with school starting and being sick. I am very far behind. Question, could you be any more adorable? Don't think I'm adorable, but thank you. I appreciate it. I will take it. I will absolutely take it. Will Judge A be the one to rule on whether or not the appeal even happens? No. Also, if the appeal is granted, will Judge A be on the panel? No. Judge A is the trial judge, and you don't have judges overruling themselves. It goes to the appellate court, so it goes up to a different court. The appeal can be granted or not granted. They can sit with one judge or an en banc panel or a full panel. We'll get to it when it happens. So we will try. We will try when we get there. So Susan Kenny said Stephen denied writing them, and that is a reason to not have somebody on the stand if you know what they're going to say. I'm sure that Deuters was, I'm sure that he was deposed. So Yep. All right. I'm going to keep looking. Questions. Is court of public opinion coming back? Yes. I've just been behind. Question. Does Amber still have to pay? It seems like she paid her appellate filing fee and did not pay the, my brain is blanking on the word, the suspension bond, which would suspend Johnny Depp from seeking to enforce the judgment. So whether his team runs around and starts trying to attach property and stuff, we will see. They have the right to do so. They have the final judgment. They can try to attach a home. So if a home is sold, then part of the proceeds go to him. Whether he's had a chance to do that or not, we will see. Question, could Amber use ineffective counsel with Elaine? Not really. I don't think there's any good avenue for that. It's not a criminal case, so the ability to really use that is low because you hire your attorney. You get to pick them. So let's see. Question, is there a TV show or movie you would like to do and play a lawyer or a judge? I have no idea. I definitely don't consider myself to be an actor. Question, if RuPaul's Drag Race has another courtroom acting improv challenge, would you play the judge there? I don't think I would be asked, but I would absolutely say yes. We could definitely do that. I again, don't see myself as an actor, really just am a legal analyst with a microphone and a podcast and an audience that I love very, very much of amazing law nerds. But if a TV show reached out and was like, could you help us not get the legal stuff wrong? Would I say yes? Yes. Would I want to act? No. Question, is Johnny Depp going to hire more lawyers for the appeal? Hello from Mexico. Hello, Maria in Mexico. I don't know if he needs to. I don't know if there's an appellate division at Brown Rudnick. There may well be. I don't know. And if he does, I don't know if we'll ever hear about it because I don't think they would put a press release out. I think Ben Chu will still be the quarterback of Johnny Depp's legal team. And if they bring in specialists the way we saw them going through Brown Rudnick, if they have attorneys that specialize, they'll pull from their own firm. If not, they'll probably reach out to a firm that they work with. So Zoe Jade, I think we just talked about that. Maybe I missed it. Are you able to hear your voices now? I fixed that part. There's some stuff that aren't fixed, but
Yes, I can hear my voice changers, and I love it. It makes it a little easier when I can hear.
because then I can choose my voices more wisely and use them much more effectively. And that helps.
So yes, voice changer.
I love them so much. I love them so much. I can't stop. Let's see. I know Amber recently sold her home. I don't know if they attached it before. Oh, I'm sorry, my nose are starting to run. I don't know if they attached it before that. I don't know if that was her main home, if she has multiple homes. I don't know. But yes, I saw reports that she recently sold her home. I think if it was before the jury verdict, then they wouldn't have been able to attach it. Question, do you think we'll get any information made public from the yeeted deposition? No, I don't think we will. I think if we don't see a filing, we can assume it happened. Question, did Amber Heard get married? I have no idea. I'm sure I would not be the first one to know. I have no idea. And there's nothing stopping her from doing that. When can we hear more voices from the Funny Sound Machine?
What a timely question.
Question. Could you give Madonna and Angela Bassett a shout out on their birthday today? Happy birthday to Madonna, Angela Bassett, and Julie Newmar. Today is her 89th birthday. What a day for powerhouse birthdays. I mean, get it. All of it. Not really a question, but I don't think people are understanding how the appellate court works. I think we cleared it up a little bit. I hope that we did clear it up a little bit. But after the trial court is done, it goes to a completely separate court, different judges, all done on the transcript. It's much more like the process that the Supreme Court uses. People file things in writing, they file transcripts. The appellate court reads them over, looks at the law and says, the law says this, the court did this, do those things match or not? So, Chub Toad, does it get tiresome being awesome all the time? I'm not awesome all the time. Ask my kids. They will tell you that I am definitely cringe some of the time. And I think the cringe keeps me going because it entertains me deeply in my soul. So I, again, just me, just being me. And sometimes I am tired. I'm tired a lot, but it's because I'm fucking old. And not... I have been trying to stay away from whatever the heck is happening with Deaf Noodles controversy on the interwebs. Like, I just don't have time to go down all of the rabbit holes. We went down like a mini, like, Twitter Spaces rabbit hole, but that was about it. But apparently he's 10 years older than he's been saying that he is. I don't understand. So he's tired like me. I'm still older, but he's tired like me. We're old here. Upwards of 35. Until next year when I have to bump it up to 45. Question, does it make any difference for arguing ineffective counsel if the insurance company hired Elaine? The insurance company didn't seem to hire Elaine. It seems like they were paying Elaine, but that was Amber Heard's choice of attorney. I have a video where I cover I think the thumbnail says who's paying, where I cover the insurance lawsuits and break down exactly what was said by the insurance company about choice of counsel. They let Amber Heard pay their counsel. They just paid for it. And they paid and paid and paid and paid and paid. Excuse me. Sorry. Nose things. Would you consider covering the Deshaun Watson case? My husband likes to listen to you now, and we are from Cleveland. This case is a hot mess. I have not looked at it yet. Again, if things have been happening, I have not looked at it. I have not looked at it yet. The creepy laugh. Look, there's a deep voice and a monster voice.
This one is the monster voice. It has echo and resonance. And I think it really is my Satan voice. Hades, it's the Hades voice coming out from the depths. And then this one has no echo, but still the low vibes. This one has the echo.
So this is the megaphone. Yes, I covered the unofficial Bridgerton musical case already. I just don't remember which stream it was on. Did the IRS really put out a warrant for Amber Heard for tax issues and not I have no idea. They definitely would subpoena things before they would warrant anything. So that. Uh, what else? I've got to do a few more super chats and then we are going to start wrapping up. I heard somebody coming running into here. Any updates on Brad and Angelina? There are. I haven't gotten to them yet. I'm hoping to do those on Thursday. Kellyanne is trying to make me jealous. I'm eating all dressed chips. Yes, I'm Canadian. The all dressed chips are the greatest thing ever. The US needs to get on board very quickly. Very, very quickly. I need that to happen. I need that to happen. Need it to happen. Question, does it seem like Amber Heard's new lawyer is setting them up for a Supreme Court First Amendment case if they lose the appeal? I don't know if the Supremes would even take it. It's not novel. It's not a split between circuits. There's nothing the Supreme Court would even need to look at. But that's so far down the road. But this case isn't as special as they want it to be. It's a very specific case between two parties. It's a bad divorce and a messy, messy, bad relationship gone very public and very wrong. It's not the end all of First Amendment speech. It's just not. So, it's called 21 years plus experience or leveling up like Pokemon. I like leveling up. I'm going to start saying that on my birthday. I've leveled up. I've leveled up. What are your favorite legal words that you find humorous? Res ipsa loquitur is one of my favorites. So the US needs to get on board. Understatement of the year. I mean, Chris, we could be here for a while, but at least if we could have all dressed chips. All dressed used to be in the US and discontinued them. Wrong decision. I could go through all the wrong decisions, but wrong decision. We need the all dressed chips. New England has all dressed chips. Christy B. I'm going to have to find it. Yes, the thing speaks for itself. In law school, people had boxers that said res ipsa loquitur. So, yes. Technically not a question. Ruffles does have an all dressed flavored chip. I will try to find it. Level 51. I am still stuck. I think I'm on level 42. Yes, it's fair that the IRS doesn't do warrants. They would have done a subpoena. And then another agency would have had to do the warrant, but could they have subpoenaed stuff? I don't know. What does res ipsa loquitur mean? It means the thing speaks for itself, hence the boxer shorts. But sometimes you're just like, it is what it is. Like it speaks for itself. It's in what we'll talk about it tomorrow. It's in the podcast tomorrow as well. I was like, where did this come from? I love gained XP. I love it too. I've leveled up. I've gained XP. This seems like some Streisand effects where BitBoy just draws SEC attention to himself. Even the harshest statements so far don't get past opinion. Caddy said, BJ of That Surprise Witness is also being sued. Would you ever have her on your stream? Love the show and your legal content. She couldn't talk about that. I will go look at what she has had to say. I have not had a chance to read it. I am aware that it has happened. Sending love and appreciation. You're welcome. I mean, and again, we'll have to take a look. Emily, you're killing me.
I'm so glad. Hopefully it's in a good, laughing, down in your guts kind of a way, because that's what I'm going for. Oh my God, the vocal fry on this, it's special.
The voice is amazing, but to me, it sounds like Bruiser Woods. I mean, totally fair. Emily, might you consider doing your first series review with She-Hulk Attorney at Law? I have considered it. It might happen for members only content because it is so different than what I do on the channel. But I have considered it. This is the case that keeps on giving the post-litigation revelations, which is a great band name. That is a great band name. Side stage at Coachella are even more fascinating than the case in the trial. Yeah. Post-litigation revelation. I like it. Somebody. It's the new Hollywood vampires. Laura said, sending happiness. You made my week. I'm so glad I missed you guys. I really did. Being sick was just awful. He uses defamation and opinion interchangeably. When the chat is wise and hilarious. 3 stores in Instacart have all dressed chips in Massachusetts. Okay, y'all are going to send me down a rabbit hole. I will find them. I will get them. Question. Wait.
I have the new Rodecaster Pro 2 because I have impulse control problems. And I was redoing my desk, and this one is smaller, and it has fun buttons. And so when I bought the second screen, I bought a new mic, and then a new mic arm, and then a Rodecaster Pro 2. It happens.
I have gear issues. Just go with it. You're keeping me entertained during labor. Fantastic. Congratulations. You can do it. It's a long evening, but you've got it. Get it. You've got all of it. So anyway. All right, let us continue. Elaine calling Amber Heard a baton. I think she was calling the legal representation the baton, and using specifically the pledge reference out of all of Amber Heard's lies. I read that coded message. I think that might be reading a lot into it. I think she was talking about passing the legal representation. Is it true that these are the attorneys that TMZ has? It looks like that was the same law firm. Will Amber x Johnny appeal be televised? Some appellate courts will televise oral arguments or stream oral arguments on the web. Some won't. But there is new media coming out about this case, so don't you worry. Music to my soul is a professional communicator. The press release didn't surprise me whatsoever, especially since Amber hired this PR team to be very aggressive. I know woefully little about media and PR. I spent most of my career just putting my head down and working. It has been illuminating, for sure. How is Axelrod being her attorney now not a conflict of interest? She's been playing Harvey Levin a fool for years, and Axelrod is Levin's attorney. The attorneys get to determine conflict. I literally know nothing about these attorneys. Harvey Levin is an attorney. I don't think he is a foolish human. I think there's probably mutually beneficial relationships, meaning they will put up with certain amounts of nonsense to get exclusives and things like that. Have you tried ketchup chips? No, because they are made with that evil hellspawn of a fruit tomato. I hate it. Oh my God, Dr. B, Emily needs to step away from the soundboard.
Never. We're never stepping away from the soundboard. We love it. The power. The power. Now I feel like He-Man. By the power of Grayskull.
I have entertained myself. Pledge. That's a deep bird. Yep. Elaine has resting yell voice. Yeah, I felt like I was being scolded the entire trial. I felt like I had done something wrong. Who issued subpoena the night before Morgan Tremaine testified? Complaint used by TMZ. He was compelled to testify due to subpoena. Was that Elaine? Raced up to the judge. Ben R looked up, panicked. I am not quite sure, Shadow, what the question is. Morgan Tremaine made it very clear that he was there of his own accord. I believe it was Elaine that issued a subpoena. The court in Virginia can't reach someone in California and drag them in under the power of subpoena. They were trying to make fetch happen. I covered it when I covered that hearing and when I covered that motion. Did you hear that Robin Greenhill hired BJ's That Surprise Witness former law firm? I did not hear that. Cough drops and Cursey words. Get well soon. Thank you, humanoid. We are the stomach is just. I was so excited to get my Lawnard and Pondered merch in the mail. Yay. I love it. Only been following you a month. Thanks for all the info. You're welcome, you guys. And I should say, for all of you that are new here, don't forget to like and subscribe. I did notice that YouTube had unsubscribed some of y'all, because I see it in the comments when people are like, wait a second, I thought I was subscribed, and then I tried to chat, and then I wasn't. So I know it happens. It's part of the ebb and flow of YouTube. Question, can we get a sound off stream with Rob and Runkle and their new soundboards? I feel like that would just be like an ADHD lawyers run amok stream, and I'm here for all of it, always. Question, don't all dressed chips have bell fruit? I have no idea. I have no idea. Who would you pick in a fight? He-Man or She-Ra? She-Ra. Better outfit, better animals. Big sword. Love She-Ra. Better hair. Yeah, for sure. Also one of my favorite toys as a kid. But I still have, we've summoned Law and Lumber.
We were just talking about the soundboards.
See, I told you, you mention YouTubers 3 times on a stream and they appear. We've summoned Law and Lumber to the chat. It's late. I actually probably need to, we're almost at 3 hours, but that's fine. River said, hi, my first live stream in months. Missed you too. Now that Elaine isn't zealously advocating for her client, what could she share without interfering with attorney-client privilege? Nothing. She should share nothing. She should share nothing. Question, have you seen that Haley Paige Gutman has changed her name to Chevelle? Yes. And I'm going to talk about it on Thursday's stream. We're going to take a dive back into what's going on with wedding dress designer Haley Paige Gutman, who sold her name. We're gonna peek back in. It's been a while. I know stuff's been going on in that litigation. So still not winning. Lesson, don't sell your name. Love the live. Thank you. Yeah, it's a lesson. What kind of case can Elaine go from here? I don't know, whatever her law firm covers. I'm sure she has other cases ongoing. Hello, other law nerds that also strays. A question. Hi, EDB. Writing a book based on my teen and wanted to include your show as the mom's favorite YouTube channel. Is this a copyright issue? Love the show. Jules Doll, just email me. We will make sure it's not a copyright issue. Don't worry. Your explanations are exceptional. Sometimes I try. Love your positive spirit. I mean, that's what we're here for. We really absolutely, and this, sometimes we'll just lead with blind, naive hope. But we can absolutely change the way we talk about things on the internet just by the way that we interact on the internet. And we've proven that in this chat. We've proven that on this channel, that we have tens of thousands and sometimes hundreds of thousands of people. We obviously aren't all going to agree about everything. It doesn't mean we can't have conversations without being a dick. We can be civil to one another and we can find ways to connect and understand one another. And that is what matters. There's so much room for good and real connection. And law nerds, you guys prove it again and again and again. Michelle said, yes, I was subscribed and then I wasn't.
Phenomenal cosmic power. Itty bitty living space.
Y'all read my mind and you're the best. Thank you. Question, do you know anything about the Batmobile maker and the buyer? What? No, I don't. The chat can answer what in the world are all dressed chips. They can absolutely do that. I had the whole She-Ra castle as a kid. Look, I am still slightly scarred. I try to let things go, but in second grade, there was a girl in my second grade class who shall remain nameless, who stole my She-Ra crown. I brought She-Ra for show and tell for something, stole my She-Ra crown, never got it back, was so mad. I needed the whole outfit, couldn't let it go. All the way through high school, I was just like, I know what you did. I know that you stole my She-Ra crown. But I guess that's not a unique experience as a human, because my oldest still holds on to the kid that took Pokemon cards out of his backpack at school before Pokemon cards were banned. So, hello, Emily. HK Nerd, I found you through the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. Some dumb question about Elaine. Do you believe that Amber could sue Elaine for malpractice? I imagine that there were a lot of client-led decisions, and there's a lot of emails backing up the things that they did, but I don't know if Amber Heard feels like her representation wasn't good. I think that she thinks that somehow Johnny Depp's team pulled the wool over everybody's eyes. What does the appeal attorney intend to do? say that the court made a bunch of false rulings, that the jury couldn't have done what they did, that kind of stuff. They tend to attack the law and the rulings on the law. One of them does have appellate experience. The other has media experience. Well, Lynn, that sounds like a good team then. I mean, seems like they're looking for the Supreme Court to get involved. That's not, I just can't see that happening. How is she paying these new lawyers? Who knows? I don't know if the insurance company also is paying for appeals. Cheap Seat's a good sponsor fit for you. Lots of love. I haven't really thought about it. They haven't reached out. So I always look at companies before I work with them. And right now we have had a lot of great sponsors that I really enjoy. And I'm very, very thankful for it. Scotty, I have a hard time understanding actual malice. When falsely accusing someone of such repulsive actions, how can it be anything but actual malice? There has to be a knowledge of the falsity. You have to show that it's false. And proving that can be very hard. It's like, if you have people saying, oh, I read here that it said that, that's different than if you know that it's false, which is why you get a lot of cease and desists sent. You get a lot of cease and desist sent saying, you know that this is false. And then if people continue speaking, you're like, I advised you that it was false. And then you hit that actual malice standard. So it can be hard to prove. It can be very hard to prove. It's why celebrities don't often sue for defamation. Because how do you prove that somebody knew it was false and malicious or gave malicious disregard for knowing it was false? Say Wood Daddy Sex 3 times, click your ears, spin around, use a robot voice, and I appear. Facts, not fuckery.
Yay! Robot voice. I need to turn that one off now. But we have 2. I think I like this one better.
What kind of lawyer would you go to if a dealership possibly... What got your... Okay. Sorry, Abigail. I need to start over. What kind of lawyer would you go to if a dealership possibly got your social from paperwork that was in your vehicle? You'd be trading submitted off without any talk about numbers and never authorize them pulling consumer affairs? Would somebody who deals with consumer affairs would be where I would start with that, but there's also attorneys in the chat who can give their ideas. You can buy a She-Ra headpiece off of Etsy. It was from I don't even know where my She-Ra doll is. It's probably still in my parents' house somewhere. I will find it. I should have kept so many more of my 90s toys than I did, and I didn't. Max said I bought that stupid toothbrush, best stupid toothbrush I've ever had. It's such a good toothbrush. Like, we all use it. So you're still live. I know. We're just about to wrap up because it's just about been 3 hours, because apparently that's what we do now. Jack said ketchup, barbecue, sour cream, and onion and salt and vinegar flavors all rolled into one chip. The all dressed are so good. And I generally don't like barbecue chips. The all dressed are special. They're delicious. Kendra, thank you. Why haven't y'all done the YouTube things? It's time. It's time to do the YouTube things. You guys are asking me about the Batmobile story. I will. I trust the chat is wise. I trust you. I will look. Wait a second. Anna, what did you just say? My favorites were Worcester sauce. Look, when I went to UMass Amherst, there were so many places in Massachusetts I could not pronounce. Worcester was one of them. And now this is now Worcester sauce in my brain. And that's what it is. And tomato flavored, no. We can't do tomato ketchup flavored chips ever. We have prawn cocktail flavored and Pringles and packet crisps as well. It was the prawn flavored. It was the shrimp cocktail flavored chips that did it for me. I just... Brenda said, my favorite legal phrase, harmless error. It's like, well, this could have gone this way, but it didn't fucking matter. Yep. So, let's see. Question. Harvard lawyer Lee posted Amber Heard's new legal team as a First Amendment specialist. Any thoughts this may appear? I mean, she keeps saying it's a First Amendment issue. They want to say that it's a First Amendment issue. Fine. Go ahead. Look, speech is speech is speech. It's not all protected by the First Amendment. It's not all of it, a lot of it, but not all of it. So with that, y'all are so funny. Chat's just making me laugh. I should pull. Somebody said, wash your sister's sauce. And now it lives in my head rent free. Wash Your Sister is going to live in my head rent free. Worst ashore. Worst ashore. Yeah, well, it's now Wooster in my mind. Zapp's voodoo chips are the only thing that outranks paprika chips. They're 12 out of 10. That sounds spicy. All right, y'all you're gonna make me hungry. Ooh, I haven't tried the Utz Old Bay chips. Now y'all are gonna make me want chips. Look, every stream I walk away going, I need a donut. I need chips. I need all dressed chips. I'm gonna have to get onto Amazon. We're gonna have to do this. And we're gonna have to do it. But we do need to say good night. Nancy, you are right. It is time. It is time to say good night. Don't forget to do the YouTubey things. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being Law Nerds. Thank you. Huge thank you to the moderators. I will see you all tomorrow for the premiere of the podcast. If you have not been on a premiere, I'm in the chat with you and we get to talk about the episode. There's a lot coming out of the Rust case, as we talked about at the top of this. So make sure to check that out tomorrow. If you missed the premiere, you will get to see the live chat in the replay. Don't you worry. And then I will be back on Thursday, regular time, 11 a.m. Central Time. And I will see you then. So with that, Law Nerds, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Connect with me everywhere. I'm at the Emily D. Baker. If you guys want to join the text, just text Emily.com. If you want to join the channel, lawnerdsunite.com. Happy to have you. Support what we do here on the YouTube.